I've been working a long time now. I've been working for free. Don't nobody around this town give a damn about me. I've been slaving away all my life to the whip and the chain. And lately I can't help but feeling like I'm going insane. Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break. I just married my beautiful wife, and I can't pay the bill, and I just wanna buy her a house out in Beverly Hills. How the fuck could I not be on yet? Almost 30 years old. How the fuck could I not be so hot when a nigga this cold? Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break. I've been down on my luck for some time. How the fuck you got yours when I ain't got mine? Can't you see that I'm not doing fine? Give a nigga a break.
Stop the song. High tactical. All right, back to the song.
Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break.
What an amazing time to be alive. You're a white man wanting a break. You gotta give a nigga a break sometime. I respect this white nigga. You know what I mean? I respect this white nigga hoping for a break. It's a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. I think there's some people who still don't know that this is a white guy singing this shit. And I remember, I played this song on stream, and motherfucker was like, "Oh my god, this song is actually pretty good. Who sung it?" And I just put it on the screen. They're like, "It's a white guy." Yeah, we're breaking the racial barriers with the power of song. Isn't it a beautiful thing? Yes. It's a beautiful thing. Children, I may have lied to you because I may or may not have said yesterday that we were going to go through this quartering thing and it was going to be just the YouTube people. But what's the fun in that? What's the fun in being able to multi-stream if you're not gonna multi-stream? What's the fun in it? So why not everybody mingle together, be on your best behavior, and we all just exist, you know? I can't tell you how many motherfuckers are trying to hunt me down over this damn Stranger Things video. And I mean that in the most playful banter way possible. It's sorry, I'm not really a fan of random ships based on nothing more than you hoping for it and demanding it be canon. I'm cool with your fan fiction, but Jesus Christ, calm it down. I'm also annoyed. I've also drawn ire with the people who are media or illiterate when it comes to media, because they're swearing up and down that they just randomly inserted this fucking concept of gay characters. Not possible. Because I told y'all, Brad tried me with this shit. He was like, oh my God, did you guys see Ganger Things? Oh, they just randomly made a character gay. Like, buddy, no, they didn't. See, the one negative aspect of Charlie Kirk that no one wants to admit is that he has emboldened a small section of motherfuckers to just say some shit and hoping nobody believes or knows anything about what the motherfucker is talking about. And the problem with me is that I will dedicate time to researching what the fuck anyone makes a claim about. But if I know the information already, you're not gonna beat me. So when you openly lie and say they just made a random character gay, I, having watched the fucking show, knowing that they've hinted and teased the motherfucker for being gay, by tease, I don't mean, oh, they're subtly bringing it up. I mean, he was bullied, called a fairy, and talked about being on Fairy Island. The kids knew he was a fruit. Kids bullied him for being a fruit. His mom all but implied that he was a fruit. So when he comes out and does it, I don't understand how we're just saying, oh, they just randomly made a character gay. Then this motherfucker tried me the dumbest way possible. They got 6 gay things that then happen throughout the season. Name them. And don't say the lesbians. Now, the silence you're hearing after I state that is the silence that was in the conversation after I said that. Because you can't just make a claim, and then when I tell you name them, all of a sudden is, what I got to name them for? Because you, in a room full of people, are saying something wrong. So now I'm challenging. Now I got to challenge you. And the motherfucker accused me of having all the information about the show in front of my face. No, I just watched the show. Like, yes, it took like 20 years for season 5 to come out. That don't mean I'm going to forget that they called this dude a fruit in the show. It's like, I really wish, like, in terms of conversation, motherfuckers just stop trying to say shit and think just because you say it out loud and you sound dumb, that means you sound smart. Speaking of which, Candace Owens is not doing a good job. Like, just so y'all know. Just random update none of you thought about, because let's be honest, you've all stopped caring about Charlie Kirk. No, we haven't. We're just we're trusting Candace to give us the information. Candace Owens is not giving y'all anything that would actually be of substance, and she has silently started to walk back major claims. At first, pretending like these are big stories that need to be discussed. Now, because she's been bitched out by actual information, it's, oh, I'm just throwing this plot point out there. Also, I'm still waiting for her to show evidence that she got hunted down by French transgenders. Yeah, I'm still waiting on that one. Because when you as a public figure say that a French government is creating transgenders to come and kill you, and then you just go on vacation to Dollywood and then go to parties and then celebrate Thanksgiving, you kind of can't just leave people high and dry on that one. You kind of got to explain that somehow. Explain that somehow. But because I'm just like drastically annoyed about the media literacy of Stranger Things, because it's intellectually dishonest to just randomly state and burp out they just made a random character gay. Like, the dude made the attempt to try to subtly come out to his crush in season 4. His crush didn't get the hint, and this motherfucker cried literally next to him, but tried to hide it. So I'm confused as to how anyone could really say, oh, they just made a character gay. But then I gotta remember, motherfuckers don't watch anything, and the concept of just saying something is to garner attention and to garner views. That is primarily it. Like, that is it. There is nothing more to it. And it works. I will not take the time to say, let's start banning motherfuckers. The only way you really fucking work this game is bitch them out. That's really it. You bitch them out. And you don't bitch them out by just, oh, you're a fascist, you're a homophobe. You bitch them out with information. Because I for the life of me, when I made the video about these random freaks hoping that a victim and his fucking perpetrator end up in a relationship, I called them freaks then. for being illiterate to the subject matter of a storyline of a bully somehow recognizing that he's a bully and subtly becoming this motherfucker's actual friend without fucking. Oh. Another aspect of that is just, I'm so glad that I'm having this entire conversation about gay romantical ships with a white guy as the backdrop. But why do y'all want to? Why? It's not even everybody. It's like that weird subsection of a fan base that demands that a relationship be canon. And the sick part is, when it's not, apparently it's queer bait and homophobia. Because everyone's got a ship. Everyone's in a relationship but the gay person. Oh, what are you trying to say? Well, I hate to be the normal person in the room, but everyone who's gay is not in a relationship. Everyone who's gay, for example, Tactical Unicorn is gay. And she likes me. Well, she is never going to have me. That's not the end of Tactical Unicorn. I'm just throwing people under the bus right now. I just decided I picked one of you motherfuckers out the lineup to throw under the bus, and I picked that one. Is that Chris Evans? If you were to tell me this was like Chris Evans' Make-A-Wish brother, I'd believe it. Oh, Tactical. Listen. The most rainbow of them all. I mean, you know. I still remember somebody like grilling me because I said I don't give a fuck about people being gay because it has nothing to do with me. That's the problem. It does have something to do. What do you mean? I'm not getting fucked. I'm not getting a man to fuck me. What are we talking about here? What does that have to do with me? Be you. Don't be who you are in your life. Happy for you, or sad that you're gonna die one day. Because at the end of the day, it's nighttime. What the fuck we gonna do? All right. Spiel aside, hope you all are enjoying your great morning. We got some business. What a great opening fucking shot, huh? We got some business to attend to. Because I, as I told you yesterday, was sent this video by Chris the Narc. And Chris the Narc specified after watching it, he didn't know about 90% of what TheQuartering apparently has done or is in this video. Now, Leon, I just love everyone and I'm desperate for attention. Oh, surprise, surprise. You're an American. Because I feel like that's what every American is. Pretends to love everyone and demands attention. You're like a fucked up dog. It'd be the dogs that are the most fucked up. It'd be the dogs that are the most fucked up that demand everyone just look at it. Like, I don't want to look at your gimp leg, your missing tail, that horrendous underbite, and that annoying bark. Like, this is fucking sickening. This is sickening. You're going to force us to endure the neckbeard? I'm making the attempt to intrigue you in the moment of information you may or may not know about. So with that being said...
Love, you'll never work a day in your life.
I'm bored. I need a game. I need a game.
But what if what you love is reading other people's articles in a camera for 10 minutes at a time, e-begging from your audience, and starting businesses that light up like the Notre Dame Cathedral the second you have to actually run them? Can you really still call what you're doing work at that point? Well, you would if your name was Jeremy Hambly, aka TheQuartering. You know, the word grifter gets thrown around a lot these days. It's an overused catch-all term for anyone with a donation link or just a bad opinion.
It's not even that. Well, it is that. It's anyone who has an opinion different as well. Because I don't understand how motherfuckers could say one thing and somebody disagree and voice their disagreement, and somehow that makes them a grifter as well. Like, I, for the life of me, don't understand that concept. I don't like that people have just, like, pigeonholed the word grifter and turned it into, you disagree with me? well, clearly you don't even believe what you disagree with. You know what I'm saying?
But we need to get back to the roots of the word, the classic definition.
Oh my God! Okay, what a great thing to come back to on the stream.
A con artist, a shyster, someone who uses deceit to swindle. And if the quartering isn't a grifter, none of these other internet hustlers are either. Thing is, the quarter is not even really a hustler. He's a prolific slot manufacturer who's gotten out of almost every financial jam, essentially by relying on his fans to bail him out the moment he got confronted with a problem vomiting out 5 to 6 videos a day couldn't solve. If there's one thing I've learned about Jeremy Hambley while making this video, it's that when the times get tough, the quartering gets to begging.
Is the snow gone? I'll be honest with you, I was never even playing the game when the snow was in the game. I refuse to play this game while the snow is out because of horrendous incidents that involve me trying to drive and failing because of the snow.
Jeremy Hambley has always been two things: a neckbeard and obsessed with becoming an entrepreneur. Being a man of industry, a guy who owned his own business and didn't have to answer to anybody, has been an admittedly admirable long-time trait of Jeremy's, and he's been at it for over 2 decades. Probably his oldest internet capitalist venture was his business, Be Your Own IT, back in 2008.
How did you
well,
get into YouTube?
I've been YouTubing for almost 20 years. Like,
oh my God. That's I've been YouTubing for 20 years. That's YouTube has been around for that long, so he would have had to been here at the beginning. Like, he would have had to have started this shit at the beginning of YouTube. I always have to question an individual who spends this much time on someone you don't like. Well, you could call it a little bit obsessive. You could call it groundswell of, oh my God, drastically seek something better to do. But I think that would argue to a lot of dedication to the craft of wanting to distribute information about a subject who has gone mildly under the radar with swindling, with grifting, with scamming an audience. And this is not just layered to him. I feel like there's nothing wrong with dedicating a lot of time to a subject matter, because at that point you might be able to throw me into that criticism, because I did throw out an hour-long video pertaining to a man losing his life and people turning it into race play. And yes, I will admit I was obsessed with the concept given by these people and how they decided, fuck it, we're gonna make some shit up and we're gonna have a time. So, you know, you could throw me in that camp, and I won't deny it, because I was obsessed with getting to the fucking point and making sure that anyone who's spreading information is telling the truth. So I'll wear that like a badge of honor. Did I just shoot this motherfucker through the window? Thanks, Rockstar. Hold on, die. Who's that shooting me up there? Go away.
my very first channel, it still exists. It's called if you go back and look at like the oldest video, I'm there.
Be your own idea.
This is shits and giggles for you. I mean, I do love doing it. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, if I didn't have fun like making videos, I wouldn't do this. I love the concept. I love it. It's fun. I get to be my quirky, dumbass self. And for some reason, people get very mad at it. And do I think I could change the world with a fucking video? Absolutely not. Do I just want to ream the fuck out of motherfuckers who blatantly lie about something? Especially something that gets on my fucking nerves? Absolutely. You need to e-beg more to fully fit in. Guys, just give me your money. 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 Give me your money. Give me your money. Does that count? Give me your money. I want your money. I want your money. Give me your money. Give me your money. Does that count? Am I doing it right? Give me your money.
IT was a tech YouTube channel and website essentially dedicated to scamming boomers who couldn't use Google or know how to browse tech forums into paying Jeremy to give them the most basic tech advice in the world. There were already YouTube channels back in the early aughts that offered essentially the same value of info that Jeremy was trying to dupe people into paying for. Unsurprisingly, the business struggled, and it led Jeremy to making a video in 2008 that would completely foreshadow his future career of entrepreneurship. I ain't got the video though. It's gone. Jeremy managed to get rid of it along with almost any other evidence that Be Your Own IT was a thing that he was once affiliated with. This was a smart move on Jeremy's part because a lot of those videos did not.
Folk want to engage in radical activist language in this fucking chat? Suck my fucking cock.
E-begging works. Look, I did it. I successfully e-begged. I took your money. Now for the cocaine. I mean charitable. Well, I don't know what now. All I know for certain is that we are dying on the inside.
Not age well for him, including the video I'm talking about, which Jeremy literally titled "A Sad, Pathetic Cry for Help from Me." Now, fortunately, while we don't have the video, the transcript did manage to survive. And to summarize, the video was basically a precursor to every "I need your help, my channel is under attack" video that Jeremy has ever made. Double speaking about.
Can I just say, I noticed that he has several of these fucking videos, and they all run around the same premise, somehow complaining about a subject matter on a video that's supposedly creating the end times for either him or everybody, including him. And I never understood this concept, because when you make that claim, and you've made this claim several times, along with sitting there saying that YouTube's dead, YouTube doesn't care about creators, yet you're still here. You're still here.
Any other black folk want to engage in radical activist language in this fucking chat? Suck my fucking cock.
E-begging works. Oh, e-begging works. Wow. Give me money, 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 give me money. Oh my God, it works. Give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money. Do not pay your bill. Actually, pay your bills, gentlemen, ladies. Pay your bills. Pay your bills, gentlemen and ladies. Pay your bills. Pay your bill. Pay your light bill. Pay your rent. Pay your mortgage. Pay your internet. Hold on, I didn't roll my R. Provider. Responsible spending, gentlemen. Responsible spending. Pay your gas bill. Pay your insurance. Whether it be renters, medical, car, pay it.
Any other black folk want to engage in radical activist language in this fucking chat? Suck my fucking cock.
All of this money, it will go somewhere. I don't know where, because I won't see it for a month. Who was the dumbass that gave me the thing that blew the 50 on Me to Play Dispatch, and he super chatted it? I'm like, oh, well, great. I'll play it next month because that's what I'll get that buddy. That's what I'll get that buddy. Here are my shekels, sir. I mainly appreciate you motherfuckers being indoctrinated into being here at 8 in the morning. That's the goal. That's the tricky dicky goal here.
How the channel and blog are doing great while also admitting he only makes 25 cents off the site every 2 days. Talking about how the business barely making any money is fine because it's all about helping people with his 10 years of computer repair experience anyway. He says this while also pleading for people to share the video, share the blog, make videos about his videos and his blogs, and maybe doing a response for a response, share for a share thing that YouTubers back in the early days like to do. Basically, his business was doing bad and Jeremy begged for his YouTube audience to come to his rescue. Yeah, bro's been doing that for going on 18 years. He might actually be one of the only guys on the
I'm not even gonna lie to you. To do that for 18 fucking years, I would have stopped at some point. I'd have been like, bro, I got the money. Like, if I sat here and like played in y'all faces for 18 fucking years, being like, please, money, 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 and I accumulated like $1 million, bro, I'm out of here. Like, I'm about to try to invest all that. I'm about to try to invest at least $500K of that, and the rest of it, I'm about to dick around with.
Internet who's been crying to their audience for support longer than Darkside Phil. Jeremy Hambley, when it comes to being a strong, independent businessman, is soft as baby shit and quick to resort to a bailout from his community whenever he can. Also, the whole thing about just wanting to help people with his computer repair skills and not caring that Be Your Own IT barely made any money was a lie, because as soon as he was able to, Jeremy sold that bitch to somebody else and never engaged in any further computer repair content again.
What I did was I started selling these little.
I ain't gonna lie. One thing about computer repair, oh my God, it's fucking annoying. And I'll tell you this much. Like my strong suit is not dealing with people. So when I have to actually fix a motherfucker's computer, that's when you start to recognize the differences between me and what the fuck I actually want to be in life, because I can't for the life of me engage with humans.
How to repair your own computer kits. And then some VC guy bought that channel from me. And I think I got $160,000.
Not only because it didn't make him that much money, and competition in the online IT advice scene was really starting to heat up around 2011 when he sold it, but because, just like with Review Tech USA, Jeremy's tech know-it-all was actually quite limited. Despite having over a decade's worth of computer repair experience, Jeremy can't even repair his own laptops. He has to send them to an actual expert instead. Now, even though his tech era was over, Jeremy wouldn't stop making YouTube content after Be Your Own IT. All throughout the early 10s, Jeremy would start multiple channels that were more or less just him trying to find a way to turn his various consumerist hobbies into YouTube hustles. You had RC Nightmare, where Jeremy would show off and play with various radio control toys, a strong obsession of his to this day. And this wasn't the only RC channel he had, just the
Why do I feel like this is the only shot of him that could look normal? I have like this small inkling that this is the only shot that makes him look semi-fucking normal. And I don't know whether to be like mad about that or shocked that it's even possible. Like, part of me feels like I should be shocked that it's possible. But at the same time, I'm proud of him for looking like a normal human fucking being. Like, it's shocking, but it's also something to be very proud of. I just see it and I'm just like, I'm so ungodly proud of you. You look like a human. He looks like he's still fat, but fuck, he looks like a human.
First and biggest one. He'd make a bunch of offshoots: RC Flight School, RC Skipper, RC Spotlight, Team RCN, and Friends of RC. Jeremy really wanted to be a popular RC YouTuber. He also made Clawstruck, a channel dedicated to claw machines.
You know, and then I started a channel about RC cars, and I sold that. And then claw machines.
Yeah, what the fuck do you mean? Well, first of all, is this even of like the rules of YouTube? What the fuck do you mean you selling YouTube channels? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? How do we reach a point where this is a legal thing?
That's my favorite.
Claw machine. The claw machines one was my favorite. It's so sad that that died.
But out of all of these hobby channels, the one Jeremy would go on to get the most mileage out of was one he started in 2012 called Unsleeved Media.
What's up, guys? Jeremy and Brandon here from MTG headquarters. That's short for Magic the Gathering.
How's it going?
Our hands.
Unsleeved Media, also known as MTG Headquarters, was, as both names suggest, a channel dedicated to Magic the Gathering, a children's trading card game that has gradually evolved into a middle-aged men's trading card game. Jeremy's channel didn't stand out that much. There were plenty of MTG channels out there, and he would do about what most of them did: unboxing videos, talking about new sets, talking about tournaments, the latest meta, rule changes.
I just want to state that this concept around like card content, boy, it's probably the most dead fucking genre of all of online, because every fucking game is basically a fucking cash grab. Every fucking game has a need for you to blow your fucking money on these cards that end up being worthless unless they have a fucking resale value that is astronomically fucking hilarious. The only one that I think garners a lot of success, especially in like a mainstream aspect, is Pokemon. I have seen some of the sweatiest, hairiest, chinned freaks in Target and for some reason Walgreens hunting down Pokemon cards. It is an astonishing sight.
The occasional giveaway, etc., about what you expect. Still, Jeremy grinded it out and built a decent following over the years, with Unsleeved Media eventually hitting 75,000 subs by 2015.
Well, we got there. Or rather, we're almost there to the 75,000 subscriber celebration, and I can't thank you guys enough.
Jeremy is noticeably more chill in these videos. Unsleeved Media, like all of his other hobby channels, revolved around him doing things he genuinely enjoyed. And while making money was always a goal, it wasn't the be-all, end-all reason for why Jeremy made content back in the day. Until it was. See, around 2015, Jeremy would try to turn his Unsleeved Media side hustle into an actual business. Not just through Patreon either. He was going to launch a mobile app called Game Finder that he had ambitions to turn into a cornerstone for players in the MTG community. How did he manage to get the money to develop it? By crowdfunding it to a tune of about $30,000. The purpose was simple: create a way for players to be able to find other players to play Magic with. Basically, Tinder.
What? First of all, second of all, you don't need to pay money to do this. Bitch, go on a forum. I'm pretty sure Reddit existed at this fucking time. What the actual fuck are we doing? Like, you don't need to fucking sit here and pay. How much money? 30?
To a tune of about $30,000.
767 people don't deserve to have access to funding, because what do you mean that people paid a combined $30,000 just to mingle? You better off paying to be kidnapped.
The purpose was simple: create a way for players to be able to find other players to play Magic with. Basically, Tinder or Grindr, but for middle-aged men playing a children's card game. Very straightforward idea. And hey, it blew up. Like a boat full of fentanyl en route for the United States leaving the Venezuelan coast, It flopped, basically. And why it flopped was pretty simple. Users really weren't fans of how the app handled location data and personal info. There were still bugs because the app's maintenance was ass. It just didn't get any traction. Wasn't a whole lot of reason to use it as opposed to Facebook or Discord, which launched the same year as Game Finder did. You would think that a guy with over a decade of tech experience would have considered these things before launching the app and wasting everyone's money. But nah, Jeremy's first crowdfunded business was basically dead on arrival. It looked like Jeremy was going to be stuck being an eternal hobbyist tuber forever. But there had been a little culture war about ethics in games journalism going on since 2014. Now, Jeremy wouldn't get involved in Gamergate himself, but ripple effects from it, the veterans of it, and the seeds of culture war it would spread across the web would greatly impact Jeremy's future career. It was in 2017 that he would throw himself in his first culture war scuffle. And I want you to pay attention, because 2017 is where the Hambly Ministry of Truth's narrative crafting really starts to kick in. It all started in June of 2017 when Jeremy got blacklisted by Wizards of the Coast.
How the fuck do you spend time getting blacklisted from Magic the Gathering? Do you know how much of a fucking dork? Do you know how much of a fucking dork you have to be accepted into a Magic the Gathering fucking group? Do you know how much of a fucking piece of shit you have to be to get kicked out or blacklisted from a group like that? Are we not the faintest? What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
No secret to those of you who have followed me for a long time that I am blacklisted. Both officially, I mean, basically as officially as they can do it. I can still play in sanctioned events currently. I'm probably one offensive joke away from getting my DCI taken. There was a brief period of time where I was somebody that they would send free product to. And I'd gotten to the point where they would even let me do spoilers occasionally. I had done a few spoilers for them.
They decided they were done with this fool and wouldn't send him any more promotional material. This was a very big deal to Jeremy because, again, he'd been trying and failing to turn his internet shit into a career for years, and unsleeved media had been the closest he'd ever come. Now, you're no doubt wondering why Jeremy was abruptly blacklisted by Wizards of the Coast.
Yes.
The story that Jeremy tells is that earlier that June, when the transgender bathroom debate shit was a big topic of discussion in the news for some reason, Jeremy, in reference to it, just made a little joke about how planeswalkers wouldn't need bathrooms because they could just piss into the ether.
It all started with a series of tweets, I think. This is how I remember it. This is like a year ago. LSV retweeted Gabby, and they were basically whining about bad comments. So I chime in by saying, hey, comments are just that. Internet comments are even less important. Let's not be so thin-skinned. Later, the next day, I believe, this was like right around when the Charlotte bathroom thing was going on about trans people not having trans bathrooms or something like that. In their opinion, in a lot of people's opinions, I make a transphobic joke by saying, another content creator responds and says, I identify as a planeswalker and demand my own bathroom. A clear joke. So I replied, send your urine into the aether.
According to Jeremy, this innocuous joke was taken very serial by Wizards of the Coast, who had been bitten by the progressive bug, so they immediately put him on their shit list from this moment forward. That's the story Jeremy tells. It's not true. The actual reason Jeremy got blacklisted by Wizards of the Coast was because he had been constantly starting shit with other members of the community all year long.
Do you understand? Why tell people that, hey, the reason they kicked me out is because I'm somebody who made a crash joke, which now in 2025 probably would have been an actual reason. But if you got a digital footprint that's fucking egregiously bad, that sets you up to where you're getting reprimanded by like the mainline fucking talking heads of a group because you keep trying to start shit and calling motherfuckers cucks and white knights, of course they're gonna get rid of you because you're a piece of shit.
See, there are two wolves inside of Jeremy Hambley. One is a greedy, attention-seeking, jaundice-filled fat nigga. The other wolf is also all of those things, but he also has a drinking problem too. And because he has a drinking problem, he's worse at hiding all those nasty traits the first wolf inside of Jeremy keeps just barely under the surface. A lot of you are probably familiar with Jeremy's Twitter addiction. Boy's got one of the nastiest cases of Twitter fingers I've ever seen. Shit's terminal. And he also has a bad habit of saying things he wouldn't say otherwise, especially when he starts pulling up. Combine this with the fact that Jeremy has been paying attention to a lot of the goings-on in the anti-SJW realms of YouTube and social media at this point, and that he was starting to look for his own SJW dragons to slay, and you end up with a series of tweets where he's constantly squatting on other members of the community, like Anthony from the Mana Source and Kate Donnelly from Hipsters of the Coast, bragging when they eventually block him for constantly tagging them just to insult them, all while reusing Kekistan and other 4chan memes he just copied from the other anti-SJW posters he was following. He also made tweets like these, posting pictures of his guns while mentioning the Milwaukee protest at the same time. Now some of you would say, well Mikey, it's not a crime. So long as he wasn't threatening anyone with his firearms or threatening to bring them to an event, it really wasn't the rest of the community's business. I agree, but it's really not a good look to make those types of tweets when you're already building a big reputation for being an abrasive alcoholic asshole.
True.
So no, Jeremy wasn't just a good boy who wasn't doing nothing but making a couple jokes at a few SJW's expense. He had gradually started to become a pariah because he couldn't behave himself. The Game Finder failure, where he basically set 30k from other Magic players on fire, didn't help his rep either. But the most notorious example of Jeremy just being a cunt was a video he made called Playset of Beta White Knights Prevent Rape of MTG Cosplayer at Sea Sprinkle Run.
Hold on, maybe I'm the odd man out here. Playset of Beta White Knights prevent rape. Something about that just seems odd, because in my head, if you're preventing a crime, you might be a hero. Oh, I have it on like simple authority that stopping a crime doesn't really make you a white knight, which is often said in an insult. Yeah.
Knights prevent rape of MTG cosplayer at C Sprinkle Run. In this video, Jeremy ran about how Magic the Gathering cosplayer Christine Sprinkle didn't like a certain horned up comment she received.
Okay, so it was drawn to my attention, or brought to my attention, that there was like literal rape happening in the Magic the Gathering community.
Which is bad. No one here like rape. Rape bad. I know, generational hot take. I'm the master at those. But you know, I think I live in a world where, you know, that's not a thing people cheer.
Serial virtue signaler and crying for Patreon dollars cosplayer See Sprinkle Run posted yesterday. Allow messages to my Facebook page again. Question my life choices immediately. Hey, I mean, if a guy tells me that he came and looked at my pictures and it gave him an erection, like, I'm like, sweet, you know?
Weird!
I appreciate giving you boners.
Jeremy was furious about this. Why? Well, for one, Jeremy had a weird vendetta against female Magic cosplayers in general, but Christine especially triggered him because of how much love she got from the community compared to him.
Let's see what the Magic the Gathering community... 107 likes, which is a lot for a Magic YouTuber or Magic personality.
They literally called her the godmother of Magic cosplay. She even got a video on the official Magic the Gathering channel dedicated to her. This wasn't some random e-thought trying to grift off nerds from a community she wasn't part of. She had been attending tournaments and engaging with the community for years. But Jeremy could see the thought that everybody else was blind to. What really pissed him off were the dudes white knighting for her in the comments.
Tim Wright, jeez, it's not like there are any plenty choices online for cosplay perving. Why can't they leave the pros alone? Obviously, Sprinkle is a pro cosplayer. You know she's a professional cosplayer by the fact that she has to solicit Patreon dollars and then cry in her Patreon video to get loser beta cucks to give her money.
Now,
This is still not an acceptable reason for somebody to be getting messages that are creepy as fuck. Let's be drastic here. Even if this was somebody trying to run a market on getting money from simps, nope, still not warranted. Nope. And by the way, what a fucking freeze frame.
even back then, it was really rich for Jeremy to poke at somebody else for soliciting Patreon bucks and crying to their audience for money because he had literally done the same thing a year earlier.
4 years ago, on February 2nd, 2012,
What is that background
my
music?
first MTG video on YouTube. Now, 4 years later, more than 4 years later, and 820 more videos, I'm still here, producing content with the same dream of being able to do this as at least a part-time job. For the past year, I've been running myself ragged, trying to run a business as well as YouTube full-time. And while it's been worth every long night, it's unlikely I can continue this pace much longer.
Is he reading a script? What a pussy. If there's one thing I cannot stand, it's someone reading a fucking script trying to be sincere. I just can't. I don't know why my fucking voice went in this direction. It's like, why are you reading a script trying to be sincere to a bunch of people like, oh my God, I'm trying to chase my girl. You don't need a script for that. You don't need a script to be like, I'm trying to chase my dream, but I'm having to go through hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. Like, you don't need that. Is he reading something?
I'm just so tired all the time. Now, I wish I'd done a lot of things differently. I wish I was friendlier with other Magic YouTube channels. I wish YouTube ad revenue wasn't less now than it was a year ago.
Oh, God. Who would have thought this? What the fuck? This shit is beat for beat how he makes videos now, with the exception of video game music in the background. But he's made this video in 2025. I'm so beat up. I'm so burnt out. The YouTube ad revenue is not what it was last year. It's like, buddy, it's been stated that you have made a shit ton of money from YouTube. And what's fucked you in the face is your ability to spend your dedicated money on nothing. He's paying for editors. You all know the quartering. He doesn't have one fucking video that requires an editor. That's like if I hired an editor. If it comes out, if I reach a point where I hire an editor, somebody better find me. Because I might have gone insane. I might have actually taken dedicated time to lose my sanity. Because there is no reason for me to have an editor. I already know how to work Wondershare Filmora. I already know how to splice something together. Fuck, I could even add AI if I was that creatively dishonest. But you don't need, you frivolously spend. And coming from somebody who also frivolously spends, long term, it's not good.
Now, you may have heard of me talk about my Patreon for several months now. The truth is, the support I'm receiving on my Patreon is literally the only reason I can spend the amount of time I do now on these YouTube videos. I feel like we've achieved adequate corporate sponsorship. In fact, I would say I'm probably spending too much time on sponsored type videos.
Wait, you're getting paid? You're getting paid. You're getting sponsored. So how the fuck are you? Now, granted, who knows the fucking rate he was getting in, 2015, 14, 16 compared to now? But, bro, you're getting paid. I had one sponsor, ExpressVPN. I think I got $300 from that thing. Could have had more, but, wet behind the ears. You have got to probably have more now.
Necessary.
And the fact that you because his shtick is like a hilarious amount of just, hey everybody, Jeremy here from TheQuartering. You produce slop, and it's consistent. How in the actual fuck do you dedicate more time fucking this up?
Very evil as things are now to help fund all the awesome things that I want to do.
Yeah, like buy more cards. It's so awesome, dudes. It's so awesome how I want to buy more Magic the Gathering cards. Because it's my dream to show you all this deluxe card that you could probably just buy on eBay if you really wanted it. I don't know why you would want it, but hey, at least it's on the eBay for you to buy and sell. This is cocaine addict. This is cocaine addict talk.
Even $1 or $2 goes so much further than YouTube ad revenue ever could.
He was just green with envy here. My favorite part was when he started going through Christine's cosplay pictures and showing how much of a thirsty gooner he was by admitting that her PG safe for work ass cosplays made him stupid horny.
Oh, excuse me. Now look. I'm an honest man, an honest plan. This looks like an attractive woman. I will not lie to you. But I have no understanding of what I'm looking at, so how could I possibly have blood going to the dick right now?
Oh, I'm sorry, Sprinkle. Let's look at your cosplay, your art, where some poor 14-year-old kid was unfortunately made an erection comment about you. And fuck him for being such a degenerate. I mean, what is sexual about this? Nothing, right? Oh no, totally nothing sexual about this. Oh yeah, here you go.
Now look, you got me here because you can make like subtle arguments about the bra. What in the fuck is sexual about wearing a Misty costume on a beach? And don't you dare say the fucking feet. Because if you have a foot fetish, you deserve to be nuked. Let's be honest. Anyone with a foot fetish is the worst of society. No, because they got kid fuckers. It's kid fuckers, then it's people who like feet. That's the criteria here. Obviously, pedophile is way worse. We all agree on that. Second worst, anyone who likes feet.
Sprinkle another totally non-sexual picture where the Pokeball happens to be right on your fucking bush.
What about that makes that sexual? What about rapists? I put them in the same category as child fuckers. But you know what? Compelling argument. Child fuckers, rapist, then people who like feet. All right, now you motherfuckers are just trying to add on things because you like feet. Listen, I'm sorry I made fun of what it is you like to, as the kids say, goon to. Listen, I don't know how anybody could be sexually attracted to feet. They're just like long pieces of meat on a nub. I don't understand how your dick could possibly start roaming around erection wise. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how you get to this fucking point. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I don't understand how anyone takes a moment out of their day and says, I want to jerk off. And I'm going to jerk off about feet. Not no titty. Not no clit. Not the mouth. People like armpits, Leon. Jesus Christ. Y'all, there are obvious parts of the body that are supposed to like create that desire in your mind. And you mean to tell me motherfuckers look at a spot on the arm that makes you fucking stink? Like what? How do you reach a point where you're just like, hey, I'm very horny. I'm very, very horny right now.
Oh, here you go, wearing basically a bra. Yep, nope, nothing hot about that. Here we go again, more basically 75% nude, nothing sexual there. Nothing sexual.
Wait, 75% nude? It's because you see a stomach? That's 75% nude? I feel like 75% nude is like just wearing a bra and panties. Depending on which one comes off first, that might be 90. Like, what are we talking about here? I've seen sexual cosplay. This is about as tame as you could get. Now, granted, I'm speaking in the mindset of 2025. This is like 2016. So maybe in the realm of Jeremy, this is about as hot as it could be. This is probably the end all be all when it comes to like lady parts. Oh my God, it's amazing. Because OnlyFans wasn't a thing yet. OnlyFans wasn't hot off the presses yet. And his access to the female body for $3 a month, it wasn't really sustainable yet. So you know what? I gotta understand this with the time frame.
Basically 75% nude, nothing sexual there. Nothing sexual at all about this Chandra.
What is sexual about the pose? Look, somebody in here might consider me a white knight. But a woman sitting on a rock with her fucking forearm on her knee, that's not sexual. Maybe I've watched too much porn and I've now discovered what's sexual versus what is not. There are literal porn stars who are on Instagram promoting themselves now it's over because the Christmas holiday is over. But you have porn stars who made videos with people in their point of view unboxing a gift, and it's their bare ass with the only thing covering the crack in the anus being a cartoonishly large wrap. What are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about here? I genuinely, for the life of me, don't get it. I can't listen. If you jerk off to this, you'd probably jerk off to any fucking thing in like the saddest realm possible.
Like nothing sexual at all. Oh yeah, look at a bodysuit. Yeah, I'm not gonna sexualize you. I mean, fuck me if I'm gonna say that I wish there was a little slot down here, you know.
Sir, why are we no CFB? You want me to lose my fucking mind playing this fucking game? I'll capitulate to your ideals. You know what? I'll capitulate to your fucking ideals. But if I get distracted losing my mind about this fucking game, everybody blame T from ATX, cause it's his or hers fucking fault.
You know, for me to, you know, for us to pleasure each other.
Also, I'm just sitting here, I'm fucking consuming this video. But once I'm done with this, I don't give a fuck. I'm playing Arc Raiders.
Maybe should have rubbed one out before you made this video, Jeremy. Anyway, this video would end up getting deleted a short time later, but it quickly gained infamy and further bruised Jeremy's already black and blue reputation in the community. What with all the doo-doo flinging he liked to do, and also the whole game finder flop that completely wasted a lot of people's money. There were 3 reasons why Jeremy made this video. Envy that Christine Sprinkle made more on Patreon and was more popular than him, despite not being an elite player, or in Jeremy's eyes, not putting as much work into her content as he did, which has literally always been slop. 2, Jeremy, despite being a married man, has always had a pattern of weird interactions with women on the internet for years, especially with women he obviously finds attractive. And 3, the alcohol was just making Jeremy act unwise. So yeah, all of this were the actual reasons Jeremy got blackballed. Wizards of the Coast wasn't expecting the netbeards they gave promo material to be the most professional guys around, but they at least expected them to not chimp out at other people in the community regularly or make videos called Beta White Knights Prevent Rape of MTG Cosplayer, where they literally added the Twitter handle of the cosplayer whose figurative rape they were talking about. Eventually, Christine announced her retirement that November so she could focus on med school instead. She was hanging up the jersey and she explicitly named Jeremy as the reason for why she got sick of it all and left. His obnoxiousness and drunken tirades were just too much that not even the Patreon bucks made it worth the hassle anymore. Now, was Christine being a bit histrionic here? Of course she was, but the general sentiment was shared among a lot of other people, and her abrupt departure caused a real stir. Jeremy would respond by saying he hadn't harassed anyone, which is someone who doesn't think just sending mean words to other people over the internet automatically counts as harassing them. I would feel he would have been in the right to say. Had he also not tried to play victim and say that he was the one actually getting harassed.
This is the type of video I would normally do on my TheQuartering channel, but
what a fruit basket. Like, you can't sit here and make the claim like, oh my god, look, this woman's just fucking going away and she's making a lie that she's being harassed. You know who's actually being harassed? Me. I'm being harassed because all these people are making fun of me. You're a con. Like,
I'm going to put it here on Unsleeved Media because I'm not going anywhere. I'm currently under basically a full-scale assault from people who have been misled or have been waiting for a moment to try and, quote, get rid of me. So yesterday or the day before, well-known grifter and cosplayer Sprinkle decided to tweet out that she was quitting Magic. Then we see literally every major creator out there completely unself-aware, talking about me being some kind of serial harasser because I made a video 6 months ago and one tweet like 2 months ago saying I didn't care that she was going to be at a GP or something. You are sicking a hate mob on me. You know that's what you're doing, and you're trying to play the victim while doing it. These people are so disconnected from reality.
I feel like the call might be coming from inside the house, big man. I feel like the call might be coming from inside the house, big man.
They legitimately think they're not doing exactly what they're accusing me of doing.
When it happens to somebody else, it's just a bit of banter and trolling. When it happens to him, it's genuine harassment. Sure, okay, bro. Again, this wasn't Jeremy acting bizarrely out of character.
This is the bullshit T wanted, just so y'all know. So when this completely turns into scuff and I end up just raging, blame him.
It was an easily observable pattern of behavior. Of him asking for money from the community, then wasting it on a terribly executed business scheme, then starting drama that had nothing to do with magic itself with other people in the community, and now there were members of the community that people actually liked that were saying they were leaving because Jeremy wouldn't stop painting the walls with feces. The permaban that Jeremy received that December from all sanctioned magic events might have been harsh, but it was after a year of him basically antagonizing and pissing off numerous influential people in the community and also just making a general ass out of himself. The ban didn't prevent him from going to non-official events or visiting card shops or anything like that, but it did essentially mean that any chance of Jeremy's Magic the Gathering channel ever becoming anything more than a hobby after 5 years of making hundreds of videos was basically dead in the water. It was the end of unsleeved media. But it wasn't the end for Jeremy himself though. Nah, this was just the beginning, because earlier that year, during the summer, Jeremy had rebranded his other Magic the Gathering YouTube channel to just TheQuartering.
Definitely an interesting day for me. So as you know, I'm kind of going through a transition on my main channel, which is specifically about Magic the Gathering. And my second channel, which is now currently called Unsleeved After Dark because it's Unsleeved Media is my main channel, but I'm going to change it. I think I'm changing it to TheQuartering this weekend.
Originally, TheQuartering was going to be the sideshow channel where Jeremy would get to vent about things that either had little to do or nothing to do with Magic the Gathering. But this channel would go on to be his most successful YouTube endeavor by far.
Thank you!
While also, somehow, getting him in way more internet drama. TheQuartering had already started to become Jeremy's main priority even before his MTG ban. By late 2017, he could already tell how the winds were blowing. So he started maneuvering appropriately, and I gotta hand it to him. He made some smart moves, broadening the topics he talked about from just magic to general geek culture, the news, and politics, encouraging his audience on his Unsleeved Media channel to migrate to TheQuartering and monetizing his channel early by shilling Patreon, Subscribestar, and securing several sponsorship deals, keeping those income streams healthy and diverse from the jump. The early growth of TheQuartering channel was a rare example of him putting that masters in internet marketing of his to good use. Granted, Jeremy had made like 10 other fucking YouTube channels at this point, so really you could just say it was the law of averages finally working out in his favor. Another move that TheQuartering made in late 2017 and early 2018 that would really affect the trajectory of his career going forward was getting associated with several anti-SJW YouTubers in their communities, like Nerdrotic and Friday Night Tights, Ethan Van Sciver and Cometskate, and Sargon of Akkad and the Skeptics. Sargon, aka Carl Benjamin's clique, would be one TheQuartering would become especially tight with. And I mean, he would become really tight with Sargon.
Coach Red Pill asked me, keep sucking on Sargon's dick, boy. V says that Sargon's cum tastes awfully good.
Why do you have him as a mod? Why do you have him as a moderator? If I that's not somebody I would have as a mod. Somebody asking me how another man's dick tastes, you wouldn't be modding for me. Oh my God, take me by the mouth. T, I'm going for the touchdown. I'm going for the touchdown. I don't learn.
So does it. And sure enough, I found a little website where I can...
Oh wait, he might not be his mod. He might have just been in a live stream and they might have just fucking discussed this shit and fuck!
Purchase Sargon of Akkad's semen. Probably my
Excuse me?
invoice here. Let's see. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Little letterhead. Comes in a nice little vial. This is a lot. Here goes nothing.
I'm sorry, but this is not the way you respond to criticism. This is not how you respond to criticism. This is not how you respond to criticism. If, say for example, T is saying that I'm sucking who's a popular online personality that everybody knows. Let's say if T comes in and says I'm sucking Chris Smooth's dick, and I respond by opening a box with a substance in it that is jokingly supposed to be his nut, and I proceed to gulp, I'm hesitant to understand how one would think, ooh, what a burn, zinger! Like I don't get it. Don't say what it tastes like. Don't say what it tastes like. Don't say what it tastes like. Don't say it.
Hambly was really gonna need these connections because he was burning through whatever was left of the bridge between him and the Magic community to the ground with his Scorched Earth campaign against Wizards of the Coast, specifically against their judges. Jeremy's a guy who definitely holds a grudge, and he was left seething after they banned him. Not only because they cut him out of his Magic the Gathering tuber ambitions, but they locked bro out of his Magic the Gathering online account too.
But what I wanted to talk about was really digital goods, specifically Magic the Gathering Online, because as you might know, my collection was stolen by Wizards of the Coast.
All that money he spent on boosters lost to the Shadow Realm forever. Honestly, being locked out of playing a gacha game, which Magic the Gathering Online and Arena 1000% are, will always be a blessing in disguise. But for quartering, it was just one of the many heinous offenses committed against him by Wizards of the Coast. But Jeremy was about to get his get back by exposing Wizards of the Coast for harboring pedophiles. It had been brought to Jeremy's attention that Wizards of the Coast had been lacking when it came to their background checks, and there was now a cabal of pedos working for him. Quartering went to gather in a dossier of sorts of this Diddy the Gathering he had found out about and dropped it all on their heads. And how many did he find? 1.
0. Oh.
We start with Ross Prasner.
There was literally one guy, Ross Prasner, who was convicted of distributing CP in 2014.
Get rid of him. And good job for you exposing him. Is that it? Is there more?
But continued being an active judge because Wizards failed to do a proper background check on him. He was the only one of the subhumans Jeremy would list who continued affiliating with Magic tournaments after they were caught. It's not that these guys didn't do what they did, it's that they didn't actually judge at Magic tournaments in any official capacity after they did what they did. They just had their names on some lists that had yet to remove them, and Jeremy acted like they were still working with Wizards anyway. Now,
so a failed attempt at proving that. So he went on a smear campaign. This motherfucker went on a smear campaign to try to make it seem like, you're harboring pedophiles? Not on my watch. And it seemed like you only cared about this because, they took your fucking online account.
A lot of you would go, well, Mikey, you gotta give Jeremy some credit. Just exposing one pedo makes this short crusade of his worth it. And I would agree with that. However, acting like Magic had a cabal of pedos running the show was TheQuartering being extra. Even after his in-depth grudge-fueled investigation, he only found the one guy who slipped through the cracks. And I'm sorry, but literally every institution of a certain size occasionally has sexual deviants pop up in them. Also, this was completely performative outrage from Jeremy to get back at Wizards of the Coast for banning him and stealing his gacha pools on Magic the Gathering Online.
I thought you scored. You thought. Buddy, didn't we all think I fucking scored? He's doing QB draws and he's getting yards. You know what? Chalk it up to the birds.
He did not actually care. I know he didn't, because when he got to one of the dudes in the video, Luke Flora, who was arrested for sleeping with a student of his, he said this.
Now, this next person is a little... I was unsure about putting this person on there, but the point...
Play ARC Raiders. I'll do that when I'm done this video. I'm not sidetracking.
Of the map.
And I'm not playing ARC Raiders with no audio from that game coming into my fucking ears. It's not happening. Tried that one time, never doing it again.
Matter is, this person is technically a convicted of a sex act. He now works for Star City Games. He's a former teacher, imagine my shock, convicted of sex with a student, 6 counts, felony counts of sex with a student.
Which
he's
is
the
bad.
in-store programs manager at Star City Games, as far as I can tell. Now, the reason this one's a little dicier...
Wow, that's not dicey. He was convicted. This is not dicey. This is not dicey. I swear. Now, I have a track record. I have a track record of being able to somehow guess the stupid things I hear in videos. I have not watched this video. I went to Sly's stream and he was watching it, and I had to pause that because I didn't want to know anything in the video. If I hit play on this and this motherfucker starts talking about age discrepancies, I'm going to lose my mind.
I mean, it's because the student was 17.
Fuck! I can't stand this shit. I'm too good at this. I'm too fucking good at this. I'm too fucking good at this. What do you mean, bro? Like, you don't. I can't stand any motherfucker who makes this ridiculous fucking argument. Oh, she would have turned 18 tomorrow, so is it really that bad? Yes, legally, you are a criminal who lusted and fucked a child under the age. Crime, and you were convicted. Do I need to remind y'all that there's a guy who, in trying to stick up for his friend, companion, compatriot, whatever the fuck you want to call it, who got caught in a sting, his bright idea was to burp out, hey, and this man had to have been in his 50s, hey, 14, 15, 13, 16, 17, they're all the same. What? Mind you, the person he's trying to defend is a grown man who got caught in a sting where he got lured into meeting up with what he thought was a 16-year-old. And for some fucking reason, we have people trying the age-old age defense.
But that really, you can't make any excuses for that.
There's also this clip, one of the only
Fuck it,
remaining
I'm throwing a
remnants
heave.
of Jeremy's
I'm
Be
throwing a
Your Own
heave.
IT videos, where he offered people with peculiar material on their PCs some advice.
I
It's
know
more of a
about this.
public service announcement than anything else. At the office this week, we had a situation where one of the techs came across some pictures on a customer's computer that were of the child pornography variety. I don't really know if there's any tack way to put that, but the customer was reported and subsequently arrested, I believe, as last that I heard. So if you have things that you don't want computer techs to see, you should delete them. Maybe change the folder name when you take it in if you...
So look, on its face, there's a way to understand this. And it's very simple. I'm going to explain this, and then I'm going to criticize the fuck out of him for this. The way he might have been trying to explain this is, hey, you know that this shit is wrong. Why are you even going to run the risk and bring it to people who are going to search your fucking computer. At that point, just leave it broken. But the problem is that you're giving somebody with child porn on their computer a way to avoid atonement. And that is not smart. That is very fucking stupid. That is fucking stupid to even try to promote out loud.
You can, or, you know, I'm not condoning it. I don't think it's necessarily right. I believe it's an invasion of privacy. So if you have these sorts of things, remember that.
Never fucking mind. What do you mean it's an invasion of privacy? It's difficult to defend people. It's difficult to defend them. It's difficult to try to give them like some layer of an out, because you try to like not make an excuse for it. You try to get an understanding, and then as you're trying that, you just hear the sound of them putting their own foot in their ass.
Computer techs do look at other things on your computer. People look around on it, and you should make it real easy for people to find things.
And now you understand why all those be your own IT videos are gone. Wizards of the Coast would implement a stronger background checks policy, but they had no real way of implementing it at a wide scale, so it really didn't change anything. It was just an announcement they made for optics' sake. But whatever, a W is a W, and we gotta give this W to The Quartering. In his eyes, and in the eyes of his fans, he has slayed his dragon. He also got the opportunity to reopen his Magic the Gathering online account so he could sell his collection there and get some money back. Which, let's be real, is probably what he cared about way more than exposing some pedophiles. Now, with all this Magic the Gathering community bullshit out of the way, he could give most of his attention to what would be his main channel going onward, The Quartering. And by mid-2018, The Quartering had mastered his new main channel's formula. Daily uploads of topical content that was well-researched and that he peppered with his own in-depth commentary. He recorded himself reading the news. He would find a handful of news stories and read them on camera.
I'm so lost. What did The Quartering do this time? Well, we're going through the backlog of the history of The Quartering, and so far, 30 minutes in, we've discovered that this motherfucker is a raging fucking nerd who does not really understand the confines of how women have to deal with creeps online, weirdly thinks certain things are sexual when I'd make the subtle argument that you're just trying to nut in ways that no man should be trying to nut. And overall, he's a huge Magic the Gathering fan who, for some reason, will make the really drastic claim that, hey, it's an invasion of privacy when we go through your computer and find child porn and report you to the authorities. You know, the purge.
Slowly, cause the motherfucker can barely read despite wearing glasses and having a master's degree. And this would be The Quartering's content format for the better part of the next decade. It was nothing revolutionary or even particularly hard to do, hence why people like Review Tech USA have also made careers out of it. What Jeremy did have over everyone else though was his relentless output. This man is a slop factory, filling your subscription and recommended feeds with slop on top of slop on top of slop. Just a one-man chum bucket. The Quartering isn't just a slop tuber, he's a grand master of the art of slop tubing. This content mass production model of his would rack up tens of millions of views, tons of subs, and a massive bag over the years. But just like with Review Tech USA, getting paid to read articles other people wrote for a living wasn't enough. No, he had to get in some YouTube drama as well. And he would choose literally the worst people to throw digital hands with. Dudes from the sector and internet blood sports community.
Oh, God.
Now initially, the little spats he got into, like the one with the late and great Gonzalo Lira, aka Coach Red Pill, didn't really go anywhere. Quartering by this point was bigger than the majority of guys in both the skeptic community and the internet blood sports scene, and he had nothing to gain and no real reason to go to war with any of them. That was until Sargon and the sectors started feuding. See, around 2017 to 2018, cracks had begun to form in anti-SJW spaces, especially in and around the skeptic sphere. I'm not gonna regale you guys with the whole history of the skeptic community.
I will. It's a bunch of people who thought they were very important, even though they were not, because they spent their time just bitching online about various things that in the grand scheme not a lot of people give a fuck about, and they all started pigeonholing themselves into thinking that they're greater than the next person, even though that they're all the same, and ultimately they all just started being mean to each other. Thank you, online direction.
That's a video for another day, but things were starting to fizzle come 2018, at least in the sense that the OG format was starting to stagnate a little bit. Also, the battles between guys from the dissident right and certain skeptics like Kraut and T and Sargon were starting to overtake the community as a whole. Sargon's cult of personality in general was starting to overtake the community as a whole. There was a Godfather meme about Don Sargon ruling the skeptic sphere like a Machiavellian tyrant. And there was a bit of truth to it. He would also just start casually lying about certain things around this time. Like the incident that would get Jeremy in his first battle with Mr. Medicare, where Sargon lied about something Andy Worski, fellow skeptic at the time, had said. Worski, who wasn't a fan of having his name dragged through the internet streets, would expose some private details to prove Sargon was talking out the side of his mouth, and essentially put him on the spot. In Quartering, one of the top capos and glazers of Don Sargon would call Worski out for daring to defend himself and not just take it. This led to him confronting both Worski and Medicare on Takasa's Kumite in February of 2018.
I've noticed people like you like to use the we language a lot. Like, oh, we and us and stuff. You're not a part of this shit. You're not hosting blood sports. Who cares what your fucking input is? I also thought a lot of the other things you said in your video were fucking dumb, too. I mean, you went on about the, it was wrong for Andy to show Skype messages from Sargon. Why?
It is fucking wrong.
Why? Should he be a bitch? Should he be a bitch and let somebody lie about him?
This whole thing is a semantic argument, right? It's the same thing where you said, oh, it's a debate. I wanted to have a conversation. Well, it's supposed to be a debate.
No, the Quartering. He said he never told me he wanted to speak to Spencer. That's not semantics. That's a straight out lie, right?
Look, we're not going to agree here, and that's fine. My point is just that you could have come on and said, look, Sargon, this is what you said. You didn't need to expose it.
I could have done a lot of things.
The problem Jeremy was having here with Worski is that Worski actually cared about people thinking he was a liar or somebody who just makes shit up. Jeremy couldn't understand this because Jeremy doesn't care about people thinking he's dishonest, talks out the side of his mouth, or is just pulling stuff out of his cheeks. He just wants to make money and will literally just lie about shit to get ahead or get out of a jam. A great example would be his drama with Matt Loader that same year. A dude in a dress, and no, I'm not being Rainbow Tribe phobic, settle down. Matt Loader is just a guy who likes to cross-dress. Literally a dude in a dress. Now this dress-wearing fellow would end up assaulting Jeremy while on a trip to Gen Con in August of that year in Indianapolis.
And it was like 1:30, and somebody walked up behind me and said, hey, is your name Jeremy? And he would have been probably the 25th person to do that tonight. So I turned around, I said, yeah, and I stuck my hand out, and he immediately started punching me.
According to TheQuartering, who would also shortly after open up a crowdfunding campaign for...
What do you open? Bro, getting your ass whooped is not grounds for a crowdfund. I hate to be, if I throw a pick, I'm going to sell my dick. Okay. It's not grounds for a fucking crowdfund.
Legal fees so he could sue this blouse-wearing bastard. Matt Loader was a deranged leftist who assaulted him for politically motivated reasons. That is a lie. It was actually because TheQuartering had called Matt Loader a pedophile with literally no evidence.
I believe at that point, you run the risk. What is it that people have been saying about free speech over these past number of weeks? I think even all year. Oh, freedom of speech, not freedom of consequence. Yeah, no, I am but a simple man, but when you are spending dedicated time falsely accusing somebody of being a pedophile, you're going to run into a problem. And that problem is when that motherfucker runs in, touchdown, And he fucking says, hey, you called me a pedophile. You pulled Dickie? Yes. I pulled Dickie. What a name, by the way. Yes, I did pull Dickie. And the sick part is I can't sell him. I pulled him as a B&D. Sad life, a sad fucking life. I wish it wasn't I really fucking wish it wasn't a fucking B&D. Because I don't deserve to be treated like this by EA. I deserve cards that I can sell.
This was only a few months after Jeremy's anti-pedo crusade, just to show you how seriously
So-
Jeremy takes this subject. Anyway, Matt Loader didn't appreciate that, so he pulled up to Jeremy at a bar outside of Gen Con and pieced him up. Not condoning this alleged two-piece and a biscuit combo, Loader served Jeremy, just making it clear that Loader wasn't there to bash a fash. This was a classic I heard you was talking shit type confrontation. Apparently, the bar was also damaged in the fight, and cops had to show up and send both parties home.
This is the window he punched in after not being able to continue to punch me.
Now, some of you might ask, but Mikey, if Jeremy was
Reeves
really assaulted,
Island!
why would he sue Matt Loader instead of press charges against him? As a matter of fact, why didn't the cops just arrest Loader right there after he had assaulted somebody and damaged the establishment's property in the scuffle? Oh, that's because it's an obvious lie, dude. I mean, he already lies from the get-go about not knowing who Loader was and also about Loader attacking him for culture war reasons when it was really about him calling bro a pedo with no evidence. He even lied about filing a police report. Quartering's retelling of events simply do not make sense and are very likely heavily embellished, if not simply made the fuck up. Which is probably why he would end up settling for a video apology from Matt Loader in May of next year rather than continue to sue.
Hi, this is Matt Loader. Some of you know me as Matt Fantastic. Just prior to Gen Con 2018, I let my anger get the best of me and physically confronted Jeremy Hambley outside a bar in Indianapolis over statements he made about me previously. I unequivocally take responsibility for my actions that evening, which were wrong, and apologize to Jeremy for my thoughtless conduct.
Jeremy Hambley is one of the most unreliable narrators on YouTube and is a fundamentally dishonest and disingenuous fat nigga, as will be proven in his follow-up bout with Medicare in October of 2018, where he would put the gloves on for his E-daddy Carl Benjamin once again. In January of 2018, just a month before Quartering was on the Kumite with Andy and Medicare, Sargon took the first major step in his quest to save the West with his liberalist movement. Many dudes from the sector would poke fun at Sargon and his liberalists, saying they were cringe and taking this internet shit way too seriously. That Sargon, who had political ambitions that let his already big-ass head get too big for his own good, and that the IRL theater of national politics was a whole different ballgame than just making fun of some blue-haired SJWs online.
Which it is. Can we finally admit that the collection of people who call themselves political fucking commentators should not ever be in positions of power? Don't believe me? Look at the current administration and what the fuck is in it. We have a fucking podcaster that is now deciding that it's time to resign come February, and another fucking podcaster who's manning the FBI. This country is a fucking joke. And it's just a joke that I like. T, explain to me how I didn't get that tackle. I dove at him. Watch the dive. I dove at him. And this is apparently like a game they decided to put out.
October 2018 Killstream appearance in particular will be the breaking point. And the Quartering threw his lot in 100% with his boy Sargon. Not only because he views Sargon as a friend, and that quite a bit of his channel's exceptional growth in late 2017 and early 2018 was owed to Don Sargon's blessing and the Quartering strategically cross-pollinating with the Skeptic's audiences, but also Jeremy really did glaze Sargon to death and viewed him as his main E-daddy back in the day. So, in Sargon's honor, and also because he was envious of Jim's popularity just like he was envious of Christine Sprinkles, Quartering was gonna bring the heat. And he did it in a very bitch-made way. See, this was around the time when YouTube started to go harder against edgy content. A lot of the dissident right guys had already been purged, and even edgy, apolitical content was getting shut down, including internet blood sports guys. So, one day, Jeremy, out of nowhere, and in the midst of the big liberalist sector feud, starts telling Medicare to come outside. Come debate me, Jim. You know you won't, pussy. Oh, but it has to be on your stream, not mine. And why was Jeremy so adamant about it being on Medicare's stream? Because you could get deplatformed just by having people send spicy super chats to you. And dude, wouldn't it be so funny if dozens of guys with names like I Love Adolf 1488 started filling your chat with $1 donos about how much the Holocaust was based and, just get your shit shut down? Bro, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, Jim didn't take the bait. But you know a guy who Quartering was yapping at the same time who did take the bait? Keemstar. For some reason, Quartering was perfectly fine with letting Keem on his program. Probably because
This is an EA game, you think it works? The thing about EA games, if we could just take a moment, it's like you have to willingly accept, as I have, that you're gonna get raped in your fucking eye. And with this game, I have to just accept that I've invested time into it. I've invested time into the game. How much time? just damn near almost 800 hours. So I'm here. But I'm going to have a come to Jesus moment for next year, and if I'm really going to sit here and go through this again. Because it's just pathetic at this point. This game is pathetic. The game is just pathetic. And the people who play it are pathetic and honestly need their hard drives checked. And the people who are blatantly lying about the game because all they do is use exploits in order to make their content, those people deserve their mothers to be chained. Because there's no rhyme or reason for people to spend their time openly lying about how good a game is so that you could hopefully be invited to the community day where you get the game for free. I do not respect the premise. I don't respect that when the game came out, motherfuckers openly lied about the game as if it was better than last year's. It's not. It's worse. And the sick part is they then made videos 2 months later saying the honeymoon phase of college football 26 is over. Excuse me? A video game is not supposed to have a fucking honeymoon phase. It's just supposed to come out. Now, a buggy game is common, but a game that comes out every fucking year, what reason do you have to be broken? What mechanic do you have in an EA game that comes out every year that's supposed to be broken? The wheel is not supposed to be reinvented here. And it's ironic as all fuck that we say this about this game, and yet for damn near a decade, the CPU has been not smart. I will literally have a CPU blocker not move and chase the quarterback if he decides to fucking run. Look what just happened. Look what just happened. Motherfuckers can break tackles out of thin pussy. This game, the only reason I still play it is because I've invested too much time. I can't just drop it. But I'm going to have to make a fucking... It's a wide open, man. I'm not even going to chase it. I'm going to have to make a fucking decision about 2027's rendition of this fucking game. And if I just want to continue to be around bitches, because that's all sports gamers are, a bunch of bitches. That's all they're ever going to be. There is not one person who plays this game honestly in earnest. Not one. Every fucking streamer you watch is a bitch. I'm just saying it. They're all bitches. These simple ass fucking exploits they use are not of skill. They're not of sound. And I know somebody's going to say, cry about it. I want you chained by your balls. That's my only response to you. That's all I really have to say. I can no longer stomach it. I can't stomach the pretentious idea of spending $30 a month on a fucking ebook and motherfuckers just being like, what do you mean? That's normal. Like, if I had the power to govern the world, I would create slavery again just for people who play EA games and those of you who sell ebooks. Like, no dice.
He didn't have gay ops in store for him.
Keem doesn't need to host me on his channel. He's plenty big. I'm welcome. I am happy to invite
I'm throwing
him
this
mine.
bitch down the field just for the fuck
Jim,
of it.
on the other hand, is a coward who is afraid of his own super chats.
Letting Keemstar on.
Does anybody want to explain why Deuce Robinson didn't jump at all? Like, I would have accepted it. I would have accepted the pick if he jumped. Like, if he would have jumped, we wouldn't have a problem here. Like, if he would have jumped and I just got mossed, I wouldn't have had a problem. The motherfucker didn't jump at all. And I'm supposed to look at these people who put their blood, sweat, and tears into this game and say, you did a great job? Burn in hell. Burn in hell.
Would be a big mistake for two reasons. One, Jeremy was a little too tipsy for his own good, and that liquid courage shit he dishes out on Twitter doesn't really carry over to live debates. Keem kind of paddled that ass.
Look, I don't have a problem with you. You're the one that supposedly has this problem with me.
You called me a low IQ cuck.
Well, In response to what?
I said I made a joke about the guy in a dress, which is ridiculous, by the way. Somebody hit you. It's the first time you've ever been hit in your life. You overreact. You make multiple Twitter videos about it. You make YouTube videos about it, and now you're trying to sue the guy?
I'm not trying. I am suing him.
Why didn't you just hit him back?
That's not how it works, dude. Game.
If he hit you first, it's fair and square. What the fuck are you talking about? My take is this. You talk shit to people, and then when they confront you, then you turn all beta, and you're like, oh, no, it's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know. It's like that.
The AI sucks, I'm guessing. Here's the sick part about what you just saw. That was me as the user. I couldn't jump. You press triangle in the game to jump to attempt to catch the ball. And the game just said no. The game just said no. So, and I'm just supposed to sit there and smile like a good whore and say that this is enjoyable. I do not. I don't think I'm playing this. I don't think I'm playing college football 27. I don't think I'm playing Madden. I think I'm expanding my horizons on this gaming shit more and more. I think I'm gonna expand my. Another thing that's the equivalent to rape in this fucking game is the amount of motherfuckers who will sit there and excuse the piss, and I mean poor, blocking in this fucking game because I can't get a fucking run play for 20 yards to save my fucking life. But every motherfucker I play against somehow has Fort Knox as their fucking offensive line. Yeah, you know, user picks were OP in the 2010s. Yeah, and they were good. Now we have a great feature called No Eyes, No Picks, which is the dumbest. I'm getting routed by an 88 Tim Tebow. I'm being routed by an 88 Tim Tebow. I'm being routed by an 88 Tim Tebow. I have categorically a better fucking team than this individual, and I am getting burnt the fuck out. And it's the opening fucking drive. So when I sit here and tell you that I've unfollowed every single motherfucker that I was watching over the past 2 weeks that was playing this game, and I view them all as a bunch of fucking cucks, I just want you to know I hope the worst for all of them. I don't want them to succeed in anything because they actively promote and think that this is okay. And I do not. I do not think that this is a good product. And I have to consider the fact that I would actually like to enjoy a part of my life, and I cannot do it knowing that this game still exists in ways that are meant to just fuck over the player. And because I have to argue with people who can't fucking code telling me that this is acceptable, I realize why gamers are viewed as cucks, and they're always going to spend all this fucking money for the increasing prices of everything. So when the fucking PS6 is $800, don't bother making that fucking tweet saying, oh my God, this is outrageous. Think of the consumer. Just get in there and buy that fucking thing like the bitch you are. Why was that an overthrow?
You're lonely.
Now, the second reason why Jeremy bringing Keemstar on was a bad idea was because Keem let Medicare onto Quartering stream for a second session of Ass Paddling.
How you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Oh, how you doing there? How you doing there, Subway? How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing great. How come we're not on your channel?
Oh, because you're the one that invited me over here, remember?
Did you stream last Sunday? I missed it.
No, see, I didn't want to be a cunt and, beg people for money when somebody's doing a charity stream like somebody else did.
So you say you kissed the ring of Monday Matt last weekend?
Oh, no, I just didn't want to steal money from children like an asshole might do.
Well,
you know
who did that? All the thousands of dollars that Ralph donated? Oh, wait, none of that actually made it.
No, well, I think it's the same guy that had to do a GoFundMe because a tranny beat him up.
Me? No.
Yeah, you got slapped around by a man in a dress. You're a real strong guy, Jeremy.
Keem,
you talk all this shit to Keem. You're a cuck, Keem. You're a coward. You're a pussy. You're a bitch. All this shit. He
Well,
shows
he
up and it's, can I suck your balls a little harder? Oh, squirt it down my throat.
No, Jim, come on, dude. His take was what? That I sued a guy and he didn't agree with it. Okay.
Now, you might sit there and think, oh my God, you caught the ball. That's a good thing. Do you realize that do you realize what just happened? I caught the ball in an egregious fucking position. Like, I'm supposed to look at this shit and think this is okay. Then you got fucking people who sign on to suck EA's dick getting free LTD cards and somehow not knowing that a community of people who has to blow their money on a pay-to-win fucking game. The motherfucker was somehow surprised. I shit you not. There's a guy on here, I think his name's Kirk, a bitch. He fucking signed on to be an EA dick sucker and got rewarded with numerous LTDs. And the entire fucking community saw that, got mad, and he was like, what the fuck's wrong with you people? I don't see the problem here. Wake me up before you go. Like, this is fuck. This game is the equivalent of letting a grown man with HIV fuck your ass.
Hot take.
And people will sit there and swallow this shit up. It's like, oh, it's great. Oh, it's great. It's so great.
I know his take was that you're a beta pussy bitch. You got beat up by a tranny. You are lying about being emotionally damaged with your lawsuit. And he's probably going to make fun of your wife, but you didn't show him a picture.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. But out of all the games that came out sports related, 2K somehow was the better one. Which is disastrous to fucking think about.
Oh, and also you're boring as shit and you talk way too slow. That was his take. I didn't hear anything from you.
Well, I mean, am I supposed to post pictures of my wife to impress anonymous internet people or no?
You told him you would.
This is sad. I left. I was waiting to get Jim in here to see him battle, you know. I tried to go at you a little bit, rile you up, but you just sucked my dick. You're just sad, dude.
How did I suck your dick, Keem?
You got on your knees
nothing gets you in fight mode. A guy punching you in the face doesn't get you in fight mode.
What am I supposed to...
Beta.
And that's the story of how Jeremy went 2-0 in a span of like 40 minutes on his own stream. Not the soldier Sargon wanted, but probably the one he deserved. That would be the end of Quartering's short-lived Bloodsport's career. By the end of next year, the entire Skeptics sector ecosystem would have changed anyway. The Skeptics would basically disintegrate through people leaving, infighting, self-destructing, and the liberalist movement collapsing after Sargon's big debut into mainstream politics turned into one of the most brutal public humiliation rituals in British history. And credit where it's due, the Quartering would come out of this tumultuous early era of his channel not only intact but thriving. His channel would become a money-printing behemoth. And honestly, if that was it, if Jeremy was just a popular YouTuber, I wouldn't have made this video. But Jeremy wasn't satisfied with being just a popular YouTuber making a high six-figure to low seven-figure income. That wasn't entrepreneurial enough for him. Nah, he needed a non-YouTube related business to make money off of. And this, in my opinion, is this dude's biggest problem. Because Jeremy Hambley is one of the most cartoonishly bad businessmen I have ever seen. Before we get to the post-skeptic era of Jeremy's career, we gotta talk business. Something a lot of YouTubers end up leaning into if they have any long-term thinking. The desire to take your YouTube riches and invest it into something outside of YouTube isn't unique to The Quartering. It's basically a requirement for all YouTubers unless you plan on getting another job or doing YouTube until you hit retirement age, which a shocking amount of middle-aged dudes on this platform unironically seem to plan to do. Quartering wasn't wrong to try and duplicate his streams of revenue off-site. Tons of popular YouTubers have made legit off-site businesses off of their YouTube fame and money. The issue is purely in execution. Now, some of you might say, well, Mikey, the majority of people who try to make content for a living never get any support. And if they do, they're lucky to just make minimum wage. Jeremy becoming a millionaire off content creation is genuinely an impressive feat. And okay, I don't disagree. But is being a successful content creator the same thing as being a successful businessman? There are literal teenagers who don't know shit about running a business, making an LLC, filing their taxes, or anything besides making videos, indoor streaming, and still end up as millionaires before they can legally drink. Running a successful business and running a successful YouTube channel.
What did I just see? What was the defense? I need to see the defense on this. I just backed up. That's not defense. That's not defense. That's not defense.
Are two separate enterprises. I feel most people understand this. Jeremy ain't most people. He's barely human for real. And his admittedly exceptional success as a YouTuber has got to put him under a self-afflicted genjutsu, wherein he believes he's a competent businessman too. He ain't. Closest he ever got was Be Your Own IT, which barely made any money, and which he sold off for more than it was worth the second he got the opportunity. There's also Marketing Sheriff LLC, which is just a small digital marketing firm he started in 2014 that would never become a known agency brand and is essentially just a business shell for Quartering's online work. Matter of fact, let's go over an entrepreneurial catastrophe of Jeremy's from this time, because it's a great example of what I'm getting at. We go back to late 2018. It's December, and it's a big moment for the Big Ham Planet, because he was launching a new ambitious project, exclusively games. It was going to be a gaming news website with videos and articles written by journalists along with a forum, all of which Quartering pitched as a politics-free haven for gamers. Hey, great idea, bro. How you gonna pay for that? A small forum is one thing, but you're talking about building something like IGN. Well, the solution to that was simple. He was gonna crowdfund the money. Despite making a pretty heavy bag from YouTube at this point, Quartering still decided to launch an Indiegogo campaign for $5,000. And ain't it interesting how Jeremy, who brags about how much money he makes and who claims he was making
net probably low sevens. Okay.
By 2018, still had to crowdfund $5,000 from his fans. And
this is ridiculous. Like, you got $150,000? to make a fucking video game website? The luck of the draw. There are people who would dream of this fucking luck if I don't get this pick. There are people who dream of this fucking luck to be able to months on end crowdfund in different fucking ways and come out with a bag. And this motherfucker just doesn't get the hit that it needs to stop after the first fucking attempt.
Anyway, the campaign was a success. Quartering would end up raising almost $160,000 by the campaign's end. Okay, we got some motion here, some real fan support. Now, you would think when Exclusively Games launched in 2019, everything would be smooth. What with Jeremy getting over 3,000% more than what he initially needed to even get it off the ground? You would be... The site was violently burning through money from day one. The main problems for Exclusively Games came down to two very poorly thought out promises Quartering made beforehand. One was that he was going to be hands-off editorially. This was his way of not scaring the hoes, so to speak. Possibly warding off people who wouldn't want to touch the site because he was affiliated with it. It didn't work, obviously, because...
I mean, I don't get this concept. Like, for the longest time, and I think Eric July fell into this gimmick too, which is why he's widely gotten away from the content that made him popular in the comic book space. When you try to start a business, you realize your digital footprint is forever. And when you have a history of being somebody who's been very antagonistic, very not pro any fucking thing outside of the subject matter, somebody could easily look at it and say, wow, what a dick. That's going to affect the business and how you make plans in the fucking future. How do you think the Quartering would respond to this? What's going on, guys? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I've been dealing with a bunch of nameless, faceless leftist liberals who are spending their time trying to disrupt how I actually do business with baseless claims and accusations and making it seem as if I'm this evil person when I've always just been a guy dedicated to making content and trying to create a legacy for the future. Now, it's no secret that I've had a lot of money trouble, and I've been very grateful that a community of people have been able to help me in making sure that this business, gets off the ground. By the way, before we keep going, I would just like to mention that this video is sponsored by Coffee Brand Coffee. I feel like the ad came in too late, but scale of 1 to 10, how accurate was it? 1 being not at all, 10 being weirdly accurate.
I mean, you own it, nigga. You were always going to be affiliated with it regardless. It also meant that when things started getting funky at Exclusively Games, he wouldn't be able to put out the fires because he literally wasn't paying attention to this website he had taken $160,000 from his audience to make. The second bad promise was that he promised there would be no ads. All the money would be made from donations and merch sales. The problem with this idea is that it only really works as a business model if you have a lot of dedicated users/whales. Exclusively Games did not. As for the other problems, well, it'd be simpler for me to just read these messages of people who worked at and used Exclusively Games.
T from ATX. What type of fucking game? You mean to tell me a nigga could just break out of 3 tackles? Like, I want to watch the replay. Show me the replay. I need to see the replay, please. Please, I need the replay. I need to see him breaking these tackles. I need to see him break. I need to see him breaking these fucking tackles. Oh, your Quartering voice impression is scary. Have you tried voice? Oh my God. I want to get into voice acting. You need to create a side hustle as a voice actor. I feel like I could. I really want to reach a point where I get into Adam and Eve sponsorship. When I tell you I have the plan to make the horniest fucking ad of all time that literally might not even be allowed. Like, I know visually I can't really do too much, but I'm more so speaking on the verbal aspect. The verbal aspect of what could go on in any given moment in time is alluring, to say the least.
He spent $2.5K to have the review section redesigned. Ground up. The developers took about 2 to 3 weeks to finish. Isn't he struggling for money? Yup, they finished. They put the reviews in the staging area. On offline version of the site, only the admins have access. as to. They worked brilliantly, better than ever. Apparently, Jeremy forgot about it, and despite 2 to 3 emails of them asking if they should go live with the new version, he never responded. I didn't either, but wasn't my job to at this point. The site sounds like it'll be dead in a year. Yeah, it's on fumes now. He's out of money for it 100%. I like Jeremy. He's always been goodish to me. He paid me very well, but I can't save EG, and he wouldn't let me even if I tried. Too controlling. I mean, I don't know 100% about EG, but it's costly as fuck to go about this the way he is. 160K could keep a website plus staff afloat for maybe 6 to 12 months. This one is my favorite. Indian devs doing weird shit. He outsourced the site to India? OMG, I didn't tell you? He just fired them last week for sending in bills for things we never ordered. They probably sensed that he didn't have a good grasp of the financial situation, given that he just paid them 2.5K for nothing. So I think they tried to milk a little $100 here, $250 there, and he caught on finally. Yeah, that's right. TheQuartering outsourced the maintenance of the site. He took $160,000.
Like Clover and gambling stuff? I ain't gonna lie to you. If I did a Klarna ad, that's the sign to just know that I'm probably being sex trafficked.
$1,000 from his fans to create to some random Indians who scammed him, because of course they did. Things started going so bad for exclusively games that Jeremy ran a second fundraiser in July 2019 and got another $50K from his mark-ass.
How? How did he pull? This man is a heist master. To be able to pull off a heist and come out with damn near $200,000 combined. What the fuck? And you only paying $3K to keep the site up?
Followers. It didn't help. By May 2020, despite being over $200,000 in—
Where's my offensive line? Where's my offensive line? Where's my offensive line to help me in my fucking time of need?
In the hole of other people's money, by the way. Jeremy would announce that Exclusively Games was on pause.
When I started this project, it was a passion project, one that I wanted to prove that a website that doesn't rely on outrage can exist in modern day. My plan was to crowdfund as long as it took to eventually—
I mean, so you kind of proved that it can't. You kind of proved that it needs a little outrage. Is he challenging the fucking play? Oh. If he gets this challenge, thank you.
Build up a YouTube.
Don't feed the delusions, EA.
Channel that would then fund the channel. Well, after the first 6 months, the YouTube channel really didn't pick up very much steam, wasn't generating any money, and between paying an editor and people to do social media and to write articles, the money disappeared very quickly. So we ran a second fundraiser, and at that point, I had made it my goal to figure out how to get this funded without continuing to ask for handouts, because I want—
Then why would you start another fucking fundraiser that's specifically tied to asking for handouts?
I wanted the site to exist on its own. Well, that didn't work. I tried running Amazon ads. I tried doing a couple of different, ads like that. At the end of the day, the site really failed to reach critical mass. Much of that falls on me for not advertising it enough.
Some disgruntled fans of TheQuartering, unamused.
Put Dickie. It's the fact that you put Dickie in. Put little Dickie in. Listen. I'm holding on to Reggie because at some point the price of him gotta go back up. Like, the price of him gotta go fucking back up.
By his bullshit, launched an imitation site, also called Exclusively Games, with the same logo, forum, and even Twitter handle. It didn't last for long, but it goes to show the passion that some of the TheQuartering's fans had was genuine, and he could have actually had something on his hands if he was just more competent. All in all, it turned out to be more of a money-burning exercise than anything else. Made Game Finder almost look competently executed by comparison. And that's just the beginning. There was also that time in 2020 when the pandemic was taking the world by storm that TheQuartering would obtain a $32,500 PPP loan from Marketing Sheriff LLC as part of the COVID-19 relief program.
There's no way this tight end just came down with the ball.
Jeremy is far from the only businessman to take advantage of this program during the pandemic, but Jeremy, who likes to think of himself as a real businessman who got it out the mud and didn't take handouts, gets a little upset when people compare PPP to other types of loan forgiveness. It's okay, bro. You're not less of a man just because you got off on PPP. You are less of a man because of that time you ran away from a bread tuber in August of 2020, though. What happened is one evening, TheQuartering's wino tendencies got him into some trouble again. While drunk, he badgered and eventually agreed to a debate with the Surf Times if the Surf Times could raise $5K for charity. The Surf Times then went on to raise 8 times that for trans charity. Now, when the time came for Jeremy to show up or shut up, he ran. He ran away with his tail tucked between his fat thighs.
I had scheduled a debate with a harsh critic of mine. In good faith, I agreed to speak to them for charity's sake. This week, they have taken to a charity live stream and raised money spreading absurd lies about me and showing anything but good faith.
No way. No way.
I should have known.
No way.
I'll keep to my word about donating money, but this will be the last time I agree to speak to these people in good faith. I've maintained radio silence, not engaged or fired shots at them, but they simply couldn't be bothered to extend the same comedy.
Boy.
It goes on. Moving forward, it's pretty hilarious how these folks consider themselves so full of virtue. I wonder what the charity would think about them using the platform of raising money to help trans people was at least partly funded by harassing and bullying others. Hypocrites, as usual.
This motherfucker really ducked the debate with a bread tuber. Grown-ass man who talks shit about other people for a living, who one of his biggest gravy trains was making fun of other people in the Magic community and obsessing over Brie Larson, was crying because a bread tuber was cyberbullying him. My thoughts on this are encapsulated by a tweet by Vouch of all people. What an unbelievable pussy. The Quartering said he'd only debate at the Surfs TV if he gave $5,000 to charity. So Let's went ahead and raised over $40,000 for Trans Mutual Aid in a massive 36-hour marathon. And now the Quivering is backing out. Just embarrassing. But what's amazing is that this still wasn't the most embarrassing thing to have happened to the Quartering that month. No, that honor goes to something before this, to Pissgate, the time.
Oh God, he pee in the basement. It's my favorite story about a grown man. Now imagine everyone, for those of you who have never heard this story, imagine you're married and your wife leaves you to go get some pizza and you decide, you know what, I'm drunk. I'm going to show my wife that she shouldn't leave me to go eat some food. I'm going to go piss down a drain of a fucking sink. Like,
time Jeremy got blackout drunk and pissed in his basement.
You never know. Maybe I'm going to pee in my trash can down here. I don't know. My wife went out for pizza without me, and I'm angry about it. So I'm going to win this round, and I'm going to pee. If I don't win this round, I'm going to pee in my own basement. What do we think about that?
What do we think about that?
I was ready to pee my pants.
Watch this unbelievable fucking dot. Thank you. Like, unbelievable fucking dot. That's for the boys back home. An unmeasurable fucking dot.
I don't have a toilet down here. All I have is a drain in the floor. I feel like we're going to have to use it, though. I got to pee so bad. I got to pee so bad. I'll never survive this round. I'm not going to survive this round. I got to pee so bad. Nobody's been eliminated either. Get up! Get up! No!
Why is the ultra boomer fucking conservative playing a game of colorful pills, essentially playing a rendition of Total Drama Island? I can't for the life of me figure that out. Now look, I'm gonna get in 3-man deep because I have no faith that this motherfucker could get down the field.
I've literally never lost that round. But I'm ready. I'm ready now. Oh my God. I just peed in my basement. No, not in the kitty litter. Just in the drain. In the drain.
Imagine pissing
if you want to
in
watch
your
a streamer
kitty
that
litter.
wants to pee in the potty, go watch someone else. When you're a pro gamer like me, yeah, I mean, if you're a dude that, if you want to watch a dude that's going to piss in the fucking overflow tank in his basement, that's who I am. I'm not taking a pause to pee.
I guess you can just get away with shit like this when you're just known for regurgitating news 5 to 6 times a day. And that,
I mean, in the grand scheme, the end of the world, this is not. He's while it's funny, he was in his own fucking house. This would have been way fucking worse if he was in someone else's house, like staying for the weekend, and he just pissed in their sink. It's like, what are you doing?
That's the story of how the Quartering, aka PP Piss Boy, relieved himself on the floor of his basement. All in all, 2020 wasn't the best year for Jeremy. A lot of it came down to, well, him. But the alcohol definitely helped. We jumped to 2022.
I want everybody to watch as he's about to get this ball off. I want you all to watch. I want you all to watch what's about to happen. There's 1 second left in a half. I want you all to watch this man score. I'm going to do my best to stop it, but I want you to watch this man score because this game desperately wants for me to get fucked in the face. Okay, never mind. Thank you. I couldn't for the life of me. I was so ready. I was so ready to just be let down and disappointed because I just felt it. I felt it in my urethra.
The year, in my opinion, that's been the most fateful for the quartering after 2017. It was the year he would purposely shackle the heaviest ball and chain he could to his ankle, voluntarily branding himself with a brand of sacrifice that would see financial demons hunting him down for years to come. This was the year that he would, in May, announce Coffee Brand Coffee.
If you've been on my channel for any amount of time, you know I've spent the better part of the last 5 years covering companies who have gotten woke and eventually gotten broke, lamenting how major companies like Disney or even ice cream makers or comic books have at best become politically...
Just so we're clear, Disney has not gone broke. Just so everybody's aware, Disney's not gone broke, such to a point that when brought up, Tim Pool had to admit that in trying to make a fucking video about Disney's financial projections being down, got chewed out while reading the article about how they exceeded their expectations financially. Ooh, methinks y'all should stop saying that unless you can confirm the company goes out of business.
Divisive and at worst outright attack their own customers. Well, I've sat on the sidelines long enough and I've decided that I was going to put my money where my mouth was and get into the game. Introducing Coffee Brand Coffee. So yeah, I bought a coffee company.
And man, Quartering would really act like this was going to be his biggest move yet, that this was going to be the crown jewel of his entrepreneurial journey. What it would actually turn out to be is a financial burden, a money pit, and a masterclass on how not to run a business. First, we'll start with the conceptual phase. From the beginning, Jeremy's attitude with this business ordeal of his was a little problematic. He talked about all the other businesses he's covered over the years that have failed, but presenting their failings as a result of them just
gotten woke and eventually gotten broke.
Never mind that there have been woke-free and straight-up anti-woke businesses that have also gone broke, but Jeremy had fooled himself.
Does any of you get a Trump phone? Like, I just want to know, where are the Trump phones? I'm struggling. I heard he was selling Trump headphones, but apparently they're just like drop shipped, not even some shit you would buy from Walgreens headphones. It's like headphones that you would get if you got 50 tickets from Chuck E. Cheese in 2008.
Into believing that as long as he didn't become an obnoxious ideologue, his coffee company would magically make money. That's not how this works. Conceptual phase problem number 2. Starting a coffee company as your breakout business as a YouTuber is so played out, it's basically parody at this point. Like, how much coffee do these niggas think the average person drinks? And that ain't even the worst of it, because if you're a content creator and you start your own coffee brand, your main competition isn't going to be the other content creator-owned coffee brands. It's going to be the mainstream brands of coffee everybody already buys and are readily available on shelves at Walmart, Target, Costco, etc. And
like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Who here is gonna buy coffee online unless it's like some elite, illustrious, rich coffee that you could only probably buy once every maybe 7 months? Like, because and
this brings us to conceptual phase problem number 3. The name. Quartering naming his coffee company Coffee Brand Coffee.
And 88 over on Tim Tebow is breaking tackles
he has ever done. The cojones on this pendejo that give his coffee this placeholder ass name and this generic minimalist off-brand aesthetic really speaks to how high he had gotten on his own supply. He really thought he was like that he could sell this shit based on his own name recognition. Maybe he even thought that his giant audience would buy up his whole stock in the first year, so he wouldn't need to make use of that masters in internet marketing and actually market his product to him. He would be wrong, because Quartering would spend the next few years from the time he launched it to the date of me making this video struggling to sell his generic, boring, overpriced coffee to anyone, including his fans. Turns out when you name your product something that if you put it into Google you get 9,000 other products first, it's kind of hard to sell. You would think a dude with a degree in marketing would know that, but I guess not. So literally, before the company even got off the ground, the odds of it being a success were already in the single-digit percentage range. If Jeremy had consulted anybody else first, maybe the future woes he would have had to endure could have been avoided. But that's the downside of being rich and also being your own boss. You develop an ego and start thinking you don't need to get a second opinion on shit. Bro really started thinking he was the Elon Musk of YouTube, who he loves, by the way. Jeremy's admiration of Elon is so strong, in fact, that in December of 2022, after Elon bought Twitter, Jeremy got overexcited, got pee-pee piss boy levels of drunk again, and had a meltdown about how much he loved Elon and wanted to eat his semen just like he ate Sargon's.
Wow.
I literally got out of bed to make this video. My most important video that I've literally ever made on this channel. I'm tired. I've been working 14 hours a day. I'm on fumes. like pure gas. But this decision, this minute, this moment is so important that I'm willing to F up my entire week. I'm blowing my entire notification window for this video because it's important. It's the most important video I've ever done. Elon.
Just so everyone's aware, this video he's making is about a man buying a fucking social media platform. A social media platform, need I remind you, that had to be sued to remove child porn. Many people thought Elon was going to make Twitter free speech haven, and he did not do that. People still get banned on Twitter. People still get silenced on Twitter. I know that the idea in people's minds is to think, wow, let's just openly think Elon was going to bring in the kitchen sink. The only thing of value Elon has brought to Twitter is the community notes, which you might think would get abused by individuals who want to lie. But give it credit, it's chewed out a lot of motherfuckers who have blatantly lied on social media.
Elon Musk has put out a poll. Should I step down as head of Twitter? It is currently 56.3% to 43.7%. It's actually gotten a little bit closer. I need you to go to Elon Musk's Twitter right now. Go to his poll and vote no.
So what was Quartering's brilliant idea on how he was going to sell his coffee? By shilling it, constantly and shamelessly. Shilling your own products isn't the worst thing in the world. It's actually quite respectable to sell something to your audience that you made yourself rather than shill products to some random company whose stuff you might not even use or would have endorsed if you weren't receiving a check for it. But the problem with Jeremy's shilling of CDC is volume and desperation. Quartering would literally never miss an opportunity to shill coffee brand coffee. The pinnacle of Quartering's relentless quest to shill coffee brand coffee. Just the moment that really embodies how desperate this dude has been to sell a single bag of this overpriced bullshit of his is when on June 8th of 2022, when Tim Pool, a longtime associate of Quartering's and fellow YouTube news slopper, got swatted during one of his Timcast streams. Now the chat was still live while Tim and the others were away, and while they were, the Quartering went into Tim's chat and shilled his fucking coffee.
Now imagine guns drawn at your fucking face. Cops are working with the assumption that you or somebody in the room has a gun and is about to Revis Island the fuck out of this nigga. Fuck you! Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And in doing so, while you're in the midst of panicking about what you do, I'll get to you in a second, Doom, this motherfucker sends $100 to you in saying this is a high-stress moment, likely a great moment to brew up a delicious cup of coffee brand coffee. If the stress is getting to you, perhaps one of our new teas will calm you. Maybe a velvety up of coffee brand cocoa. Now, it is no fucking secret, especially because there are still videos with it still there, of me being an affiliate of coffee brand coffee. Now, I don't hide from that. I was. What turned me off is how blatant the business was nothing more than a fucking dot than a motherfucker just shilling shit. And when he made that fucking video just randomly saying a leftist was trying to shut his business down and provided no evidence of such a thing, I bowed out. Because it's like, I can't get behind the fucking lie. I can't back up a lie. I just can't. So, and I do remember, like me and Chris, we were live making fun of the Quartering. And somebody said, wow, I didn't know Leon was such a leftist. Calling out somebody lying and not showing you any proof of a claim that they're making so that they could shill a product in front of your face is not a leftist. That's a damn human. But because somebody gotta pinch me in the dick. What was that? How? You need to go on Kino Casino? I would have nothing of value to give them. I literally would have nothing of value to give them. The funniest part, at least to me, I'm still in the coffee brand coffee Discord. I'm still in the Discord server. And when I tell you, it's just people shilling as hard as they fucking can in order to like get people to watch the content that they make. It's the funniest shit under the sun. It's like you go and find the people and they're not promoting the coffee either. It's like I had to drag myself away from VTubers to see this. Go back to listening to grown men with voice changers sound like little girls. Freak. Unless you're talking about the burnt peanut. Then we might be talking about something. We might be talking about something of substance here. Yeah, we might be talking about a little substance here. When's your sponsorships coming? I don't know.
This is a high-stress moment, likely a great moment to brew up a delicious cup of coffee brand coffee if the stress is getting you. Perhaps one of our new teas will calm you? Maybe a velvety cup of coffee brand cocoa. Jeremy did this.
It's better than the quartering at least. If you're going to buy YouTuber coffee, at least buy it from someone other than Jeremy or Tim Pool. Or, I know this might be a little difficult, get your fat ass up and go to the store. You know, Walgreens, Dollar General. I despise the fact that I just got a touchdown in the dumbest way possible. You get a touchdown on this fucking game. All you got to do is just shimmy a little bit. You ain't even got to shake the defender. All you got to do is shimmy, and that fucks up the entire circumference of the defender that's running you down. Oh.
4 or 5 times before Tim returned, and even replied with further shilling under all of Tim's tweets.
I heard, you know what the craziest thing was? When we were outside, right, and cops are in the suite, we just kept hearing coffee brand coffee. And I was like, coffee. And I was like, what? Looking around, and then I open the chat, and all I see is Chet's coffee brand coffee. I'm like, what's happening? Quartering. Jeremy. He gave us $400.
More than that.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Bro literally has no sense of shame. Now, what's funny is that Quartering joked on Twitter, look, I'm not saying I caused the swatting at Tim Pool's house just to hawk my delicious coffee, organic teas, and indulgent cocoas, but I'm not saying that, and then proceeded to get swatted himself just a few hours later.
That's what you get, fam. Push you. Yeah, blood. Whose end you come to now, fam? Dickhead.
Despite all this shilling, hawking, suspiciously hyper-positive 5-star reviews, and promises about how he'd get coffee brand coffee on store shelves by the...
I ain't gonna lie, this is probably my best game I've played. I just got a pick 6. I'm doing a great job. I'm winning 20-0. Now, there's a choice that could be made. This young man could either keep playing, and this game will probably fucking give him the bone he wants, or he's gonna quit.
End of 2022. Reception to Quartering's coffee has always remained mixed, and he's always struggled to sell any of it. Now, just because Quartering was sinking in the commercial quicksand that was his coffee company, that wouldn't stop him from starting another business just a year later. See, this is how cocky bro was. He was just swimming in money, huffing in all his mustiness, thinking he was gonna be making 9 figures by 2030 or whatever. The motivation for this particular capitalist venture, however, wasn't just Quartering's desire to have a legitimate business, it was to simp.
Oh,
specifically, the simp for Sydney Watson, the Australian-American former Blaze employee who, along with Elijah Schaefer, who was also present at Jan 6 and went inside the Capitol building in Nancy Pelosi's office with Bait Alaska and even took a picture of Nancy Pelosi's email, but was the only person who went inside the Capitol and never faced any punishment for it, for some reason. Hosted the show You Are Here Together. After Sydney left the Blaze and got in a lawsuit with him, she was kind of left in a bad spot. So Jeremy decided to bust out his cape and play Captain Save a Sheila, and they would, in late 2022, start a new show together called Community Notes. But the Save a Sheila didn't stop there. Now, in March 2023, Quartering would team up with Sydney to launch a whole website called The Publica. The Publica would be a politics and culture news site for free thinkers and mischief makers that would be a grassroots alternative to mainstream media. And Quartering would front $2,500,000 in...
Say, bruh, give me the Quartering's money, I could show y'all what the fuck to do with it. I could show you all who's a bigger simp, Dickers or the Ham Planet. Specifically because of the shit that happened at this fucking conservative convention. But $250,000? Like, you just sitting on that? I ain't gonna lie, with $250,000, I'm buying a car, I'm paying off whatever the fuck my mom has as a fucking bill, and then the rest of that shit could go to stocks. Like, what the fuck?
To this venture.
It's disappointing to hear about Sydney, but I don't know why anyone takes Lauren so seriously. Yeah, I mean, I was heartbroken when I saw her messages. She like literally told people, you know, I went out of my way to try and help her with her tea company. And she had no idea how to do fulfillment or any of this shit. And I was like, hey, let me help you with that. And because she didn't like the price that it would cost me, but I was making no money on it, she told all these other people in these private DM groups that I was ripping her off. But by the way, meanwhile, I had paid about $250,000 to start the public and she had paid $0.
Nigga, you's a mark. Nigga, you's a lame. Nigga, you's a nerd. Nigga, you soft. Nigga, you frail. Nigga, you look like you a tail. Nigga, you's a buster. Nigga, you's a sucker. Nigga, you look like if your bitch told you she fucked another nigga but say she won't do it again. Nigga, you look like you a truster.
This thirsty-ass, happily married man threw a quarter...
I ain't gonna lie. Being married... You should be throwing $250,000 at your wife's fucking business. Or even a hobby. Like, you should not be fucking blowing this on a random woman's venture in what it is that she wants to do with her life.
$1 million away in a vain attempt to build a new media empire with Sydney Watson. Quartering likes to say shit like,
I learned long ago that internet foins is dumb. That's why I don't do collabs. So I don't take selfies with other YouTubers. I'm just here to get on my grind.
But I don't know.
I'm just here to get on the grind. I'm not here to fucking make friends. I'm here to do my time and fucking... This is ridiculous.
Jeremy, throwing $250,000 into a collab with a bitch you barely know is definitely a few steps beyond what most people would do for their internet fwins. Jeremy actually really wants internet fwins more than the average e-celeb does. He yearns for acknowledgement and acceptance from his peers like Dankula, Sargon, Tim Pool, and especially conservative women like Sydney, along with Lauren Southern, Lauren Chin, and pretty much any other right-wing chick he tried to bait using his money.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I say this, I feel like I say this every stream. As a conservative, why are you wanting the opinions of women? Why? There's no reason anyone should be wanting the opinions of a woman who's conservative. They want the 19th Amendment. They want their right to vote to be taken away. Why do we want to hear their opinions about any significant thing in the world? I don't get it. And why is it every time I bring that up, motherfuckers scoff? Somebody heard me say this shit one day and got mad at me. It was like, how could you say that? Think about all that. No, I'm not thinking about shit. You motherfuckers promoted yourselves as being anti-feminist to the point where you want everybody's rights taken away. And the problem is that these specifically conservative women talk as if, oh, if we get rid of the leftist rights, that'll make room for us real women. No, your rights are gone too, buddy. This is why I'm so glad nobody's listened to these bitches with that horrendous idea. Because, unfortunately, I know this is going to be controversial, you women are human and you have a right to fucking vote. And it always interests me when the retort is, oh, these women are not as logical. So when you say that in that moment, are you a transgender? Like, are you confused about what's going on down there? Because I'm gratefully fucking wondering how we get to any fucking point.
Sydney barely gave him crumbs of attention before, by the way. But now that she was in a vulnerable state and having burned several bridges with conservative influencers she probably shouldn't have, she had to rely on Jeremy, who swooped in to be the extremely awkward and creepy hero that Sydney probably didn't want but definitely deserved. And when I say awkward and creepy, I'm not just pulling a quartering and pulling stuff out of my cheeks. On the show, Jeremy would often let loose slips like,
my DMs are closed. I get too many dick pics.
Do you?
Why? Now, see. You've all watched me stream. You've all watched me interact with people. I have said shit. It's wildly fucking out there. I get away with it because the people I'm saying it to are also widely fucking inappropriate their damn selves. You think I'm just laying bare that I'm getting dick pics to random people? No. You think if I had somebody on here that was genuinely on the fucking stream, you think I'm about to sit here and let this motherfucker know, hey, I'm getting random dick pics? Like, that's some shit I say with Chris in the room, or Sly in the room, or Skelly in the room, or even Peachy. By the way, Peachy says hi. Peachy says she enjoyed Christmas and is currently playing Stardew Valley on the Nintendo Switch. Now, while that is an offense, we accept it.
Oh.
Just loads of them. And they're not great either. They're not great. They're like flaccid. Girl, have you ever peed in a trough where there's like...
What? Like what?
dongs on the left of you and to the right. You can see them both.
You
If you're
don't have to
peeing
look
in
at
an open
them.
river.
You don't have to look at them. It's
You
not
have
like
to look. It's a respect thing. If there's a guy who was like supremely hung, you would like rib him about it.
Huh? 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 Now see, that might be that white people shit. That might be that white people shit. I ain't gonna front. That might be some white people shit. Cause ain't never been a time where I didn't walk this earth and I, as a black man, raided another man's cock. And I don't know who's rating cocks to the point where you start ripping. That don't even make logistical sense. Look at that loser with the fat cock. Huh? Hey, oh my God, this fucking dork has a fat cock. Ladies, did you know this fucking geek has a fat cock? First of all, a woman's proper response should be, oh, really? And, or, why do you know that? This is fucking ridiculous. Wait a minute. No.
You know what I mean? Versus like, be jealous.
And it wouldn't be Jeremy without him getting drunk and saying weird shit on Twitter he would have to delete later once he sobered up, like this one. If this post ends on an odd number of replies, Sydney will post a lewd photo in the replies.
Wow. And this is supposed to be like a coworker? They got Me Too stories that are less graphic. Hello? This is who's like, look, have I like, is there, oh my God, Dickey is actually a better fucking running back than Reggie. This is actually fucking absurd. Look, you're supposed to fuck up in life and how you interact with women. Like, you're not gonna get it right every time, and you're supposed to learn from your fuck ups. This tweet is a fuck up you make. I give you your early 20s. I give you up until your early 20s to make this fucking cringy ass mistake. This motherfucker had to have been 40 at this point. How are you that fucking inept to basically set yourself up for somebody to make a Twitter thread of you Me Tooing them?
One can only imagine what Sydney's DMs from this period look like. Anyway, Operation Simping for Sydney ultimately ended in failure after the Publica failed to gain any traction and struggled to hit even 20% of its subscription goal.
So I have to make a little bit of an announcement. Myself and my good friend Sydney Watson launched a media company back in February 2022, known as the Publica.
Oh, yeah, hi, Destiny. Hey, Destiny. I know you make your little jokes, but now I have an honest question for you. Just a little honest one. Because, you know, a woman's input matters in situations like this. Sorry, I'm pulling you into this so randomly after you just told me hello. I just ordered a pizza. Depending on your choice of toppings, I will talk bad about you in the future repo plays to come. If a grown, let's say you're in business with a male coworker and you decide you want to start up a business with this male coworker. You have no romantic feelings for this coworker. I got pepperoni pizza with bacon. Oh my God, you're now one of my favorite people. That's literally the only fucking two toppings I put on a pizza. But you are in a startup business with a male coworker. And for some reason, your male coworker gets drunk. Now, don't be alarmed, because I know what the confines of what it's supposed to sound like after are supposed to be, but there's no mention of rape. But imagine your male coworker tweets out that if his post gets an odd number of replies, you will post a lewd picture of yourself in the replies. Is that not weird? As a woman, I need to know if this is weird. See, I feel like I know the answer, but I'm not a woman. So I need the input of a woman to allow us all to understand what is real and what is not. Yeah. Yeah. Add jalapenos and I would say yes. You motherfuckers have horrible pizza topping taste and you all shit yourselves for a reason.
And struggle to hit even 20% of its subscription goal.
So I have to make a little bit of an announcement. Myself and my good friend Sidney Watson launched a media company back in February 2022.
The dumbest way possible.
Almost everybody on a personal.
If it's a sexual business, it's less weird, but normally, yeah, weird. It's not a sexual business. It was a news website. And I don't think in the confines of a news website, somebody should be tweeting on their own accounts that, hey, my coworker is going to post a lewd picture if you give me what I want in terms of social media interaction.
Personal note, who worked for that site did it for almost peanuts. But sadly, my time with the public has come to an end. My career has been evolving and I've just been spread too thin. And I need more time and space for personal projects.
According to former employees, Quartering fired the staff while drunk in the middle of the night, and Sydney, though she wouldn't outright trash him, has avoided being caught up in the Quarter Planet's orbit too much ever since. Hey, nobody said something was easy or cheap. Another failed business venture and another failed attempt to catch himself an e-girl. But that was okay. Jeremy was going to throw more money at another conservative woman he wouldn't make the money back on, namely Melanie Mack. Now,
whore, strumpet, evildoer, Jezebel, who is not a true follower of the Lord. Because, you know what I love about people who spend their time talking about the Bible is how immodestly that they dress, specifically you women. You whores like to pretend that you're saved, but all you are strumpets.
Now, she isn't the only woman currently employed by the Quartering. He has several people, male and female, on his payroll that he probably shouldn't. But what makes Melanie stand out is not only does she not really bring anything to the table besides being one of several human money pits that orbit around the Quarter Planet and eat up his net worth, but Jeremy is obviously fixated on and overfamiliar with her to a degree he just isn't with any other co-host, and constantly white knights and fights battles for her to a degree that even as a boss trying to look out for her.
Can I be a whore and be pretty pog? It depends. Are you a conservative? Because if you are, my stance on you is to get back in the kitchen, because apparently that's the only fucking leeway for those specific type of women. Whores are pretty cool. I know a few. And let me tell you, their stories about sex, cartoonishly hilarious, until you realize how accurate it is. And then you're like, oh my. Then you literally sit there and you just think to yourself, oh my, I can't play defense to save my mother's life. Like, if my mother had a gun pointed to her head and the objective to keep her alive was to play defense on a fucking game of college football 26, I would just shoot my mother. Like, I'm not even going to let somebody else kill her. I'll just mercy do it.
For his employees, it's kind of much. It also makes his earlier words about Christine Sprinkle and her white knights look a little hypocritical in hindsight. This was most obvious during the brief Goonergate incident in December of last year, when Melanie and a handful of other culture war righties went crusading against not porn, but extremely sexualized content in male-targeted media in general. Now, people started clapping back at Melanie and her anti-Gooner allies' Puritan stances, and also pointed out that Melanie, as a fan of Tomb Raider, was throwing stones from a class house. Quartering would then come to Milady's defense against these Gooner nerds who just wanted to play big titty games all day. Just to remind you guys how Jeremy was moving just a couple years ago.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here, Unsleeved Media, and I've got a scoop for you. I've got some rejected art from Ixalan. You know, I don't know if you have seen this. I did.
The one thing that is very interesting, and like the whole apparatus of conservative content, it's how many individuals try really hard as a fucking plane flies over my fucking head. It's how these people try really hard to make themselves out to be Puritans. Oh, no smoking, no drinking, none of these things, because it's not of the Bible. And they hope to God that they can police other people into that lifestyle. And they can't. You can't market yourself as trying your hardest to make it seem like you're the most omnipotent of society. It's just never going to work. It's never going to work, primarily because you have an audience of people who bought into your content because you were against, they're trying to censor us, and here you are trying to censor. My favorite cheese, I've never really thought about this. I've never really thought about my favorite cheese. I've never thought about my favorite cheese. Gonna be honest with you. I feel like it's a bitch's answer just to say, I'm mad that I couldn't get this fucking ball off. I feel like it's a bitch's answer just to say cheddar. It's like I could just say cheddar and just like be satisfied with that, but I just feel cheap if I were to just be like, oh, it's cheddar. So it's like I don't have an answer for you.
Share this image with the YouTubes. I'm not entirely sure why Wizards of the Coast wouldn't print this card. I mean, certainly very powerful, very intelligent, very thought-provoking. Lots to think about with this card. What's going on in Jor's mind here?
But Jeremy wasn't reflecting any of that. He just jumped at the opportunity to look good for an employee he'd be better off laying off. This is true for most of the Quartering's employees. He hires all these people to help run his businesses that all fail anyway, save for his YouTube channel that could probably run just as well with just 1 or 2 full-time editors. The most used Quartering really gets—
What editors? I need people to get a grip. There is not one video the Quartering has that requires an editor. Editor. There's not one. He doesn't have one. All he needs is the fucking subscription to Filmora or fucking iMovies and go from there.
Gets out of these guys is as co-host on his Rumble streams, which he started mostly streaming from in 2023. Now, he said it was because of free speech Rumble allowed compared to YouTube, which is preposterous. Like, Quartering's not even spicy enough for that to be an authentic reason. Part of the reason why Quartering's been able to thrive over the years anyway is because all of the actual edgy people, the far righties, the edgelord comedians, the shot jock streamers and whatnot, would all get banned during the late 10s, and there was a vacuum for milquetoast righties like Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool, and the Quartering to thrive in. The actual reason Jeremy went to Rumble was for the fat checks Rumble was going to pay him to stream from there, and the benefits of constantly being on Rumble's front page. Jeremy's Rumble deal has made him a heavy chunk of change over the years, until it hasn't. See, Jeremy, despite his years of experience and frequent business failures at this point, still has failed to internalize one of the most basic rules of business, that is, preparing for downturns. When business is booming, everything's easy. You can lose a couple stacks and recoup it all and then some in a few years, but when
business is down, that's when you're gonna have to start wondering. And Quartering's not good at that. Quartering, when he's not getting the tens of the thousands of the millions of views, the 100,000 views, if he's not getting that, all of a sudden YouTube's changing.
This is Democracy Manifest.
It's not him changing. It's not anything wrong with what he's putting out. No, it's YouTube. YouTube's changing for the worse. YouTube doesn't care about creators. YouTube this, YouTube that.
When winter comes, when the drought comes, when that recession hits and the revenue ain't hitting like it used to, is your business capable of weathering the momentary hardship and not just fall apart? The answer, if your name is Jeremy Hambley, is no. Quartering's entire empire was built off the back of his YouTube success. His endless stream of YouTube slot videos is his financial foundation. Everything else is supplementary. So when these other businesses have been failing, Jeremy was like, it's fine. When his staff payroll gets a little high, he's like, it'll be all right. Even when Rumble ended its deal with Jeremy, stopped paying him those big checks, his subscriptions there start drying up, and he didn't get reliably put on Rumble's front page anymore, he could still shrug and say, well, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world. But shit, it's different when his YouTube metrics start performing so well too.
Looks like there's some trouble in paradise.
See, Jeremy's been getting a bit anxious as of late, like actually losing his shit a bit.
I know a lot of you have been asking about my breathing, what's going on with that. It's from anxiety. And I've been having a lot of it lately. I've been trying to get off the medication. I've been on, SSRIs for a long time for anxiety. And they tried to say, oh, well, let's up your dose, but I didn't want to do that. And my doctor's like, well, it's not as effective anymore because you've been on it for such a long time. I'm hoping it's just a rough patch. It was a really, really, really stressful July between, my foot. I had Achilles tendonitis, then I had gout, and then I had anxiety.
Oh my God, you're a disgusting human.
And then I had, the no paycheck for July because the Rumble deal expired. It was just a whole bunch of crazy, stressful stuff.
Now, you might look at these numbers and say, that's not bad. Well, they are bad when you're an almost 2 million sub channel and you're hundreds of thousands of dollars in the hole and are employing way more people than you should. Apparently, breaking even 70K on a video is no longer a guarantee for the Quartering. Not unless he's talking about something topical like Charlie Kirk's assassination. By the way, Jeremy has been one of those guys going at Candace Owens for milking Charlie's death for views.
Listen, everybody milked that dead corpse for views. Anyone saying otherwise is a blatant liar. The Quartering, listen, when we talk about Candace has milked that motherfucker since September. You know who else has milked him since September? Jeremy. This like pointless nitpick of like, oh my god, you're monetizing this person's death for views. Welcome to the fucking internet. That's not really a gotcha. Like, that's not really a shameful thing. Motherfuckers been doing that from jump. It's just now all of a sudden when it's somebody you like, now it's a dot. Oh my god, dick. Now it's somebody you like. It's more offensive. No, fuck out my face. Once I noticed the well ran dry, because primarily there was nothing. Really, I should have stopped once that one chick was like, "Get his kids next." Like that primarily was it for me. If there's still something to like hammer home, if there's a point to be made, clearly the time will be to make it. But this motherfucker would make a video that would have nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Would be like, Charlie Kirk would be so proud of what's going on. What? Charlie Kirk probably would have no stake in the fucking game of what was going on there. Realistically, if it wasn't about somebody reacting to him dying or any information about like the dude who shot him, any other video is pointless. And The Quartering made those. And Candace is veering right on that. Because can someone explain to me what French transgenders coming to kill her does? Smash or pass Agi Womon from Digimon? A kid's cartoon character you want me to smash or pass? Have some decorum.
Despite making literally dozens of videos about Charlie in a row to milk his death for views too. Reminded that Jeremy's full of shit and just as much of a shameless grifter as Candace is. Jeremy's metrics are even worse on his secondary channel, Jeremy Hambly. This used to be a channel called Quartercast, and he can't even get 50K on a video reliably anymore. The last few months have been the worst performing months he's had on YouTube in years. And he can blame it on his channel getting shadow banned, censored, or strangled as if his cookie cutter ass clickbait is worth that type of effort from Google. The truth is, after being blessed with a gravy train for the better part of a decade, YouTube's algorithm doesn't care for The Quartering and his stank anymore. Censorship on YouTube has actually lessened recently under Neil Mahan, and Neil's even let some edgy boys from the past who've been banned for a while back on the platform. Now this is terrible news for Jeremy, because the lack of competition was one of his main strengths. He can't hang in an era of YouTube where he's not getting that algorithmic stimulus package and has to compete with right-leaning content creators who make better content than his slop. The next few years of Jeremy's YouTube career aren't looking too bright. And if all this financial stress was occurring in just one place, that'd be bad enough. But it's everywhere, all at once. His main channel, his secondary channel, his Rumble, and worst of all, his coffee company. Bro, Coffee Brand Coffee has—
Oh my God! Oh my God! Are you alright? What the fuck? Sir! You go to the doctor. Go to the fucking doctor. What the fuck? Nah, all jokes to the side, all manner of conversation, blah, 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 blah. He needs to go to a fucking doctor now. That doesn't look good. That don't look good.
Has gotten Jeremy all the way fucked up. Apparently, he's over $300,000 in debt.
What's wrong, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I wasn't sure I was going to go public about this, but it appears I have to now. Many of you know that I've got a lot of irons in the fire. You've heard me say, hey, I've got my Mega Mixology cookbook to help fund the new studio. Obviously it's a meme, but you all know I have my coffee company. All of these things have stretched basically me to the absolute
It should not be a meme that you own a business. That's not how you sell a product, by calling it a fucking meme. Just so everyone's aware. You do not get far calling a business you want to make money on a meme.
Max, it was fine. You probably saw I was selling my Neo Geo collection. I'm selling my Nintendo collection. I'm selling all this stuff to help fund this stuff. We really are at an inflection point where a lot of companies would take on investors. You know, I've got $300,000 almost floating right now in debt. I'm just being dead serious.
And it's the worst type of debt. Debt that's tied to high interest loans and unsecured credit. And he just can't sell any of it. It doesn't matter how many flavors he has or how many holiday specials he makes. He's not moving any of this product. No market footprint and no market penetration. Only thing getting penetrated is Jeremy's pussy. Because winter is coming, bills are due, and he's got tons of inventory that nobody, including his fans, want. And before we get off this subject, I need to spill some beans about a certain not-so-secret detail concerning Coffee Brand Coffee. That is the claim that Jeremy does everything in-house at his privately owned coffee company and doesn't just drop ship.
There's a big difference between what I do and what most everyone else does. I don't drop ship my coffee.
Want to engage in radical activist language in this fucking chat? Suck my fucking cock.
It's the most dramatic fucking alert. I'm sorry. It's just so dramatic. Because what do you mean? Why? What's with white people? What's with certain white people just putting too much emphasis on it? Any other black? Like, whoa, calm down. I also appreciate that $1.99.
We roast our own special blends. We hand flavor our beans. We pack our orders. We ship our orders. We handle our customer service. We are not a dropship outlet. We're a real coffee company.
Yeah, that is also a lie. Jeremy doesn't do all the work in-house. Pick the beans, roast the blends, all that stuff. He did
that. Honestly, that cost a lot more money. You don't have bean manufacturers, you sick fuck. Running an entire coffee empire would put him in more debt than just 300 fucking K. It would. In manner of which nobody would want to willingly participate in at all.
Didn't even really buy a coffee company at all. What he's actually been doing is repackaging coffee made by a company called Mill Creek Coffee Roasters and selling it as his own, which he can do since Mill Creek Coffee Roasters is a private label that allows other white label companies, which Coffee Brand Coffee actually is, to do that. In a video Jeremy posted to prove that he does in fact have a roastery, people are able to compare these photos to ones that Mill Creek Coffee had available on their social media, and they looked identical. People also noticed that Coffee Brand Coffee's LLC coincidentally happened to share the exact same address as the LLC of Player One Coffee, a coffee company coincidentally owned by Zach Shutt, who's also the CEO of MetaPC's, coincidentally one of Jeremy's main sponsors over the years. Also, coincidentally, of course, Zach's Coffee had also featured a roastery that looked an awful lot like Mill Creek's. Also, they somehow had the same address that was only a 20-minute drive from a facility owned by Mill Creek Coffee Roasters, who are the ones who are actually brewing this coffee.
No. You see, he's pulled up by his bootstraps and money's it. I can't lie. Doomster, I don't know if you're still here. You called me out rightfully, and I owned it, because why would I not? Another thing that I gotta own is participating in this dumbass bootstrap concept. Now, do I believe you should just wallow? No. I do believe at some point you should better yourself in situations that would benefit you. But oh my God, is it difficult to do that when they keep upping the price of the fucking boots, the shoelaces, and the fucking route to get to the shoe store. Like, you cannot tell motherfuckers to pick themselves up by the bootstraps in a fucking economy where it's getting difficult to figure out how you're going to afford the bootstraps.
Coffee. Not Player One Coffee, and certainly not Coffee Brand Coffee. This whole time, Quartering's been bragging about how he's doing everything in-house instead of drop shipping. In reality, what he's doing is technically a step below drop shipping, because not only is Coffee Brand
Push-Up was originally meant to be do the impossible. See what the problem is? It became this ploy on words. It became this ploy on words to be like, oh, you niggas are lazy. Just fucking put in the work. As if the minute you do a push-up, you're going to be muscular. I'm so like recognizing how dumb it was to say that shit was funny as fuck. I admire you for admitting that. Hey, I'm a grown-ass man. You gotta admit when shit's stupid to fucking say. And it really wasn't even to say it to be like, oh my God, I'm trying to fucking hammer home some fucking ideology. I actually believed motherfuckers shouldn't just sit there and let their life just be dictated upon misguided failures and concepts that they can't overcome. But oh my God, are there factors that put motherfuckers in a predicament to where they cannot overcome, or it's gonna take them a lot longer than the next motherfucker? Because if you cannot admit that, you're blatantly lying to a bunch of people. Sorry. Can't do it. can't do it. Now, you got some motherfuckers who still to this day rely heavily on the concept, hey, just pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Just pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Jesus. What a concept. What a concept. You send Kino Casino the coffee brand coffee Discord screenshots and they'll probably make content out of it. There's really nothing of note that I could do with that though. Like at all. It's really not no, whoa, everybody's making fun of the quartering. It's literally just motherfuckers, hey, what's everyone thinking of content? Hey this, hey that. That's really it.
Brand Coffee, a white label product, is just a copy of another white label product, Player One Coffee. And this isn't some grand secret either. Companies who actually do roast their own beans know exactly what Jeremy is doing. So the Coffee Brand Coffee Company, that's basically a millstone around this motherfucker's neck at this point, was built on a lie that Quartering has been peddling for over 3 years. Let this be a lesson. Being a grifter doesn't always pay. The Quartering is spiraling. His metrics keep dropping. His businesses have all failed or are actively failing. He's burning through money month after month. And
like, do y'all want me to go in the fucking server right now and just see what the fuck they're saying? Now, mind you, I haven't been in this fucking thing in months. So. Oh. The most recent message is from November. And it's somebody saying, so the referral program is discontinued? Wait. He did have like referral programs and he started like really pushing Amazon as the place where he was going to sell the shit. And you got motherfuckers in this Discord. I'm not going to say who these people are. I'm still insert here. We've been forgotten because he sells the shit on Amazon now. Pretty upsetting. I wonder if everyone is suppressed. LOL. Nope. If Cheesy isn't here, there's no name here, so I don't know who the fuck that would be. Who's in charge now? Wait, so they never suppressed the ping? That's crazy. Maybe this is an actual real name, so I'm not gonna say that. Oh shit, he's gone. What about this motherfucker's name? Okay, he's still here. And then motherfucker who he added. This motherfucker tried to add like 2 different people and the names are gone. They're not in the server anymore. I'll dig into existing uses next week to clean up any past referrals. They've left these motherfuckers on red. All right, so look. Here's what's in the server. The welcome section, the announcements. I want to see the announcements. What announcements have been made? There hasn't been an announcement made since March of 2024. No. There's a help desk. There's rules. There's the leaderboard. Jesus, this is fucking ridiculous. Let's see what's going on in the partner chat. No one said anything in the partner chat since May 8th of 2024. Let's go to collab discussions. Okay, we got newer messages here. Okay, let's see. It's literally just ads to people's channels. There's an ad in here for an OnlyFans ad-free leak. Oh my. Oh my. The last known message is from July of this year. Let's go to pictures. What have people been putting in the pictures category? What if people put in the pictures category? Oh, it's just pictures of people getting their coffee brand coffee. And again, another ad for OnlyFans leaks. Self-promo. There's got to be something recent here. Oh, there is. Yeah, there's people just promoting their live streams in here. You know, there's a guy promoting Arc Raiders in here. This thing is dead. This is dead, bro. Oh my God, this shit is dead. Man, fuck no, bro. That's fucking hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. What a just fucked way to run this. You had people openly like selling your shit for you and getting paid for it, and you've left them high and fucking Jesus Christ, I got hiccups. Fucking dry. It's like, you comfortable with that, bro? That's how you run a business, guy? That's not it at all. That's just not it at all. All right, let's wrap this up because we got 3 minutes left in it.
Melanie Mack and Sydney Watson still won't give him a crumb. It's tough out here for Jeremy. Well, not really, because as much as Jeremy likes to e-beg his fans to bail him out of the latest financial Kimura lock he's put himself in,
Mother's Day is next week, but more important than that, I'm hoping, praying, asking you guys to support the channel.
He still lives one of the most decadent lifestyles in America, and he doesn't even hide it. At least with the Millhouse Coffee Roaster shit, he tries to keep that on the down low. He'll just openly talk about and post photos and videos of his collection of vintage arcade machines, his fleet of cars including a fully modded Cybertruck, his multiple $1,000 plus watches, his giant RC track on his acres of land, his giant ass house that he had personally built in his 7-foot tall saltwater fish tank.
Fucking disturbing. Like, there's fucking disturbing how you have all of that, and yet for some fucking reason you act as if every week is your last day without having $1.
This ain't me tanky posting about Jeremy living it up too big. He can ball out as much as he wants with his money. This is me pointing out that a millionaire who lives like this has no business extending his hand and asking for a handout from his audience. The Quartering being an ape when it comes to running his various businesses and being a giant consumer when it comes to managing his finances is the Quartering's problem, nobody else's. Moist Critical recently turned off all forms of his monetization because he already felt he made too big of a bag over the years to justify it, and felt guilty about his working class fans continuing to give him their hard-earned money. But Big Hambley over here, nah, he needs those donos, he needs those memberships, he needs that ad revenue, he needs a Rumble deal, he needs for you to buy his coffee.
Is that motherfucker holding his dick? Wait a minute.
He needs those donos, he needs those memberships, he needs that ad revenue, he needs a Rumble deal.
You fat fuck!
He needs for you to buy his coffee, he needs for you to buy his MAGA mixology book, and he needs for you to pay for his hotel expenses.
I'm not, wow, ridiculous.
Holy shit, dude. Just get a cup, find a corner, and start begging pedestrians for change at this point, nigga. Goddamn.
So, bottom line, you're a huge grifter.
Massive. Yeah. I've actually, so I have it drawn out. I have basically a 2-year plan that started last year. I'm pretty sure that like my channel will be irrelevant like by this time next year. There hasn't been a big push in the last year. And if there isn't another one next year to kind of refresh viewership, I've already kind of started planning my exit plan. So I'm maximum grift.
That's tough. At least he admitted it. At least he was able to sit there and admit that this is about to be a fucking time to be alive for the grift. Ladies and gentlemen, it's pathetic that it's gone on for that long, but I'm glad to see people are recognizing that it's time for this shit to stop. But other than that, goodbye YouTube. We're gonna go play Arc Raiders now because we're cool people, and you people don't like when I play games. So goodbye.